Okay. Oh, getting a bit wet. Would you like a leaflet there? There you go. Excellent. Would you like a leaflet there? Ah, you fine? Want to stick with pictures? Do you want a leaflet there? No? Of course you can. An open mind, yeah, that's an inquiring mind, yeah. Would you like a leaflet there, sir? Excellent, thank you. Take a leaflet there, sir. All right. Wow. Cheers, Tommy. Hi all. So it's a little bit busier down there. We're hoping a lot more people will come down this way. But it's an open area here. It's a little bit too busy. We figured that if we get the stands out there, there was just too much footfall for us to handle. It's very busy over there. It's icy cold here today. We've just had a bit of rain. We've got blue skies everywhere. Look at that. How about that? In Oxford, no chemtrails. Nice blue skies everywhere. What are the odds? Eh? But how we started. I can leave it there.
It's okay. I believe that the Earth is round.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah,
What?
Because
Go on.
the reason why is...
Sorry, I should have asked you first. I've already caught you on thing. Are you okay to be filmed? You're all right.
Sure.
Right. Go on.
Because before even man even came up with the notion of that, the book of Isaiah, for example, in chapter 40, verse 22. So these are like some of the Dead Sea Scrolls that were discovered and talks in obviously the Ashmolean.
Right.
It talks about this is there is one who dwells on the circle.
And the circle could be a circle could be.
Well,
It's not a sphere, is it?
Well, it's funny because the Greek word, or sorry, the Hebrew word of circle could imply a sphere.
Could imply.
Inhabitants are like grasshoppers,
Okay.
he's stretching at the heavens like a gauze. So
In lots of other Bibles and lots of other religious books and all that, it says that the Earth is it mentions so many times that the Earth is flat and immovable. And have you picked up on that?
No, I've never seen it, but there's a scripture that says that the foundations of the earth are
Okay.
set forever.
Yeah. Okay.
So meaning that it will last forever. So contrary to this idea that we're going to kill ourselves,
All right.
destroy our planet,
But-
it will last. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
No, it's very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
I have looked in a little bit. There's
But we, I've never gone up to space too.
okay, because that would be second-hand information, wouldn't it? We'd have to have a belief and faith that what we're seeing is real photographs and that.
Either way, I believe that there's a lot of sinister propaganda, a lot of lies and media, science, religion, politics.
Yes, you are so halfway there already.
Commercial world, we're being lied to.
Yes.
So I feel at least we're trying truths in the Bible says,
Okay.
whether it's sort of gospel,
Yeah, of course you can.
the fundamental teachings in the Bible is that God's kingdom is going to be
Okay.
so like all the problems and we
Yeah.
have all the problems, political problems.
Yeah.
We have a role to play in just being good, loving each other,
Yeah.
love than getting perhaps bogged down in some of the smaller details. But in time, according to the scriptures, if we're living forever
Yeah.
on this earth, we will then discover all
Okay.
the intricacies of why the earth. So
Well,
it'll be really cool.
I was, before Flat Earth ever came into my life, I was always an agnostic. I sat on the fence. I always felt as though never had enough belief or information or faith that, one side or the other. But because of Flat Earth, I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe in the Big Bang theory. I don't believe in all of that. I mean, like the very fact that there may be a creator, that I'm coming on to the way of your thinking now, and I think that there may be a creator. There you go. So yeah, I mean, like I would have to say there's a large majority of flat earthers that are very religious.
I was in Israel a few years ago. I was up at the Golan Heights on the Lebanese border.
Okay.
In the kibbutz, and there were a lot of young guys that felt that the earth was round.
Right. Well,
but it's good that people are questioning things and not just believing.
Well, thank you, because that's we were in Cambridge a few days ago, and the way that these physicists that were saying to us, it was almost like, just shut up, and we are the superior ones, and shut up and go away. I don't need to ask questions. That was the attitude that was coming, and no, like us simple farmers, we want to know, that we want to ask questions.
And we're in a world that tries to numb and dull your senses to not ask questions, just whatever it is.
Yes.
Just watch the TV and dumb the mind and the brain cells to not ask questions. So, for example, as one of Joe's witnesses, we're encouraged to keep asking questions ourselves and study into the scriptures, not just believe things, but actually do our own research and encourage other people to question. Question these things and the answers are in the Bible.
Yeah.
I think that there's no point asking questions, the answers are there.
I know there's someone watching you right now, and he's agreeing with 100% everything that you're saying. Everything. I know he's there. I can feel his energy coming.
That's been lovely to meet you.
Yeah. Did you get my leaflet then? I'll take a leaflet. Yeah, what we're doing is that we're just getting people to go to our website, watch some videos, and with an open mind, and challenge it yourself, without any biasism. There's lots of land that we shouldn't be able to see. All right, okay, well then you good.
Okay.
Nice talking to you. Lovely talking to you. Okay then, bye-bye. Wow, did I feel that energy coming from the chat then? There we go. The earth is not flat. Would you like a leaflet? And you can prove to yourself the earth is not flat. Right, let's just grab, let's give these guys some leaflets. Would you like a leaflet there? There you go. Would you like a leaflet there? Oh. Yeah, got one. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Would you like a leaflet there, sir?
Sorry? No, of course not.
Really? You're closed-minded.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm closed-minded.
Would you like a leaflet there? No, that's okay.
Can I take one of those?
Of course you can. Sorry, did I not ask you? Yeah. There you go. I like open-minded people that want to challenge their own preconceived ideas. Take a leaflet? No, that's fine. There you go. Would you like a leaflet, sir? Excellent. Would you like a leaflet? There you go, leaflet. There you go. We've got one on me. I'll grab some more. Well, I think it's a day of giving out leaflets today. Maybe someone wants to talk to me in a minute. Because everybody comes here with a superior stance that they know better. But we know better, don't we? Well, look at this. Right. Did you get a leaflet? Are you okay? Cheers, Tommy. You alright? Yes, of course. There you go.
Try and prove then that there is God.
No, we're not proving that at all. Although there is a lot of people within our flat earth community that are very religious. But no, that's not what we're here for. We're here to challenge science, how it's been delivered to us. We're here to show people that there is land that we shouldn't be able to see, that is meant to be over the curvature of the earth. and yet we can see this land, and we can see this land for very long distances. And what we're being taught at school doesn't meet our reality. You know, so that's what we're trying to do today. Look, that's on the Blackpool Gazette. You can see the Isle of Man, but based on this mathematical formula called spherical trigonometry, you're not meant to see all this land. That's 2,500 feet should be hidden, and yet the highest peak is 2,000 feet.
My son really don't believe the Earth's round. I think younger people are less believe that it's.
That might be true.
I think young people do.
Yeah.
That it's not round. Maybe older people it's been.
Well, I mean, the only time that we kind of believe that the Earth is round is when we were presented this at maybe 5 years of age, and we never questioned it. We just submitted to the authorities, and they turned around and said, "This is what you live on, and don't ask questions." So, as an adult now, do I believe in God? I believe in a creator. I don't know whether that is
with an intelligence and power of good.
Okay. I haven't given it that deep a thought. Maybe. I'm really unsure. I need to really examine and evaluate how I feel about another being, a superior being, or it might not be a superior being, it might be the same as us. I don't know. I believe, for myself, I think God requires faith. Okay. I hear.
Who gives you that faith?
Well, here's the thing. I hear people, and they tell me I've spoken to God, and I've met God, and I find that hard to comprehend. I haven't met God, and maybe that's a feeling, or they. I just don't know. It's a very complicated subject, and I've wrestled with this. I'm in turmoil with this for years and years and years. I think that if probably half the planet are atheists and the other half are religious to some extent, and then I feel like there may be something in this.
Because when you ask everyone that question, it like touches their heart. It does something in here.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
But I must admit, when I go to a church, I'm very overwhelmed.
Yeah, same.
You know, I look at all the colourful windows. I look at the height and the prestige of a church, and that I'm open-minded. And I'll leave it there. I'm open-minded, and hopefully I might discover God. I might meet God. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm certainly not closed-minded to the prospects. For what we're discovering now.
Show this my son.
Yeah, I mean, you got a leaflet? I think that's a personal one for yourselves, okay? Let's say that you live in a cabin in the woods and you have no contact to the outside world and all that. Well, it doesn't mean a lot to that person. You know, like for me, the very notion and fact that I feel as though I've been lied to, I don't have any proof to that. Sorry, I don't have any proof. That's the wrong word. And I have proof that I see land that I shouldn't be able to see. Okay.
The world's round.
That's right. You know, like so I do have evidence. That's to a lot of people that's not satisfactory. You know, like I know the behaviour of water clinging to the exterior of a sphere.
Don't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. But they tell us that it's all because of gravity pulling everything in. But when you challenge people on what gravity is, they don't know what it is.
Yeah, I knew, and he
Well,
the apple just fell off the tree, and he thought he wondered why.
I think that is a fictitious story. That will be, just to inspire kids and for them to remember such a thing.
Right, okay.
You know, like, but no, don't believe that. I mean, can it not just be that is heavier than the air around it, density and buoyancy?
That's what I think.
Well, of course it is. I mean, like helium balloons, they go up, they escape gravity. Yeah, no, it's people go to school to pass exams.
Yeah.
They pass exams, they don't critically think for themselves, they probably never challenge gravity ever in their lives, but it's a given and they know. They're so sure of themselves and they know.
Yeah.
You know? So we're challenging it, we're asking questions.
Lovely, thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Bye-bye. Would you like a leaflet?
Yeah, why not?
There you go. Excellent. There you go. All right. Take a leaflet there? No, that's okay.
You think the Earth is flat?
No, I know. But I used to think that we lived on a ball. I used to believe that. I don't believe that now.
the sail or the top of the ship is visible
Okay.
above the horizon, whereas the bottom isn't.
They teach that at school.
It's not curved.
They teach that at school.
No,
But excuse me, one at a time. That was rude. They teach that at school, and I find that very depressing because now with today's technology.
evidence, fella.
Excuse me. Look, I just listened to
need
you.
to see a side
So
by
you can't. But if you, Ollie, which lies? Could you tell me which lies? Before you say which lies? Okay, what's spinning ball? Which lies? Do you see how ridiculous that is? That's not an inquiring mind.
For centuries, people have been
Who?
gathering evidence.
Who?
All the
Who?
we hear about.
Who?
Copernicus,
Kepler.
Newton.
Okay, what about Aristophanes?
Yes.
Could you do Aristophanes? Yeah. Okay.
In the Greek period.
I challenge you to prove that.
Just look at the angle
No.
of the sunlight.
Then I challenge you to prove that Aristophanes, that he ever existed. There's no scrolls, there's no scriptures, there's no writings.
Whether
There
he
is
existed,
nothing.
There are records talking about him, and whether he existed or not.
Prove
you
them
can-
records. There is no records. That's what we're
If you
asking.
do an experiment
Okay.
and look at the sundial.
That's right. And if you bring a sun closer and smaller, you get exactly the same results. You can check that out in your 3D modelling. Exactly the same results. Identical on a flat plane. Sorry, I don't know. No one's been taken to court yet. No one's been held accountable. It could be this lady here. I don't know. Well, no one's been held accountable. Hopefully, in the future, that might be. But I'm not lying to you, so I can't give you that answer. You need to speak to the people that are.
The size of the sun from the orbit of the Earth.
The size of the sun. That's 93 million miles away. I think you need to do some homework because the angle from here all the way to the sun, that could be 93 million miles or 20 million miles away. It's all about the angle going to the sun.
First, you know about the diameter of the Earth,
Okay.
and then you can work that out.
Well, how can you work out the diameter of the Earth when it's 93 million miles away? All you can do is hypothesize, and based on your mathematics, your pseudoscience that was created by
Do
theories.
some research. And you'll
Well, I have been. I think lots of people don't even know their own heliocentric model.
Well, you obviously don't.
Flat as well.
Say that again.
And the other planet's flat as well.
We're not a planet. We're not a planet. So I don't need to answer that one. We're not a planet. We are a plane. Okay. Well, no. We're a plane, and you've only ever seen CGI, sir. CGI of them planets. Sorry.
So I think the point was all these other spherical objects.
Say that again.
Moon, stars.
Well, I agree that I look at the moon. It looks sphere to me. Okay. Other planets and all that, I'm not sure about that because when I look through a telescope and that, and most other people look at it through, they see it in 2D. It looks like a circle, a light, a circle. So I'm unsure about that. I was presented CGI images in textbooks. You know, NASA. I don't know if you've seen a photograph of the sun with all the flames coming out and things. It's a CGI image. I mean, you get your. There you go. So, but you get natural.
Made up, isn't it?
It's all made up. All of these planets, all of these images. Okay, so you've ever seen a photograph of these planets?
I've seen a photograph of the sun when it doesn't look like a flame.
I know, that's right. It just looks like a flat light.
Yeah, that's because we're thousands.
93 million miles away, they say.
Yeah, 100%.
And yet they've got no proof. They can't prove that.
If we were
They
as
can
close
give. They
as
can
you
give
think
you.
we are, we'd be burning to death right now.
But we don't say it's that big. We say it's a lot smaller and a lot local.
But you can't have something
Can't.
that's small producing that much heat.
But all our reality is based on the pseudoscience mathematics of where that sun is. Well, it is. Your reality is based on that.
If someone's been to the South Pole, but according to your map, the South Pole is technically all the way around
Okay.
the edge of the Earth.
Okay. Someone's been. Well, here's the thing. The South Pole. Okay. Antarctica, as you see,
Yeah.
all the way right round it. South is in every direction. Okay. Of all the explorers and expeditions and all that, the Earth is 24,900 miles. No one has ever done that journey of a complete circumference of the Earth.
Yeah, but if so,
Yeah, we've been
people
east to
can
west.
sail around
East and
Antarctica.
west. That's right. We've been around the continents, but no one's ever done north and south.
Yeah, but someone's walked straight across Antarctica there.
Sorry?
People have walked across Antarctica.
Can you name
And
someone?
expeditions Across, I can't actually.
Well, this is the problem. I mean, like,
I think if I did a Google search, I probably could.
well, probably Randolph Fiennes would be probably the one. And the thing is, you don't know what happened. Is that he supposedly went to the South Pole and then come back, didn't go all the way across. That's the problem.
Out of curiosity,
Sorry,
you're
curious,
essentially suggesting
curious, open-minded, good. I like open-minded people. Never been to the edge. That's programming. That's the media and education programmed you. You need to deprogram yourself. No flat earther has ever suggested that there's an edge. You need to deprogram yourself.
Beyond the South Pole.
Okay. So
What, just expand and expand.
well, I don't know. I mean, like they suggest that space is infinite. They suggest that space is infinite and ever expanding. So can land be infinite and expanding?
But you're saying we shouldn't believe what we've been told.
No. I was saying that you should question.
And then
Because at 5 years old, you were presented that. 5 years old, I bet you never challenged it ever in your life. Ever.
no, because I understand the principle.
Because it's a given.
Because there's evidence and there's proof.
There's
There's lots of
and did you examine both sides of the argument, or did you repeat for an exam? Okay. So
if the earth stops at some point, what happens to the water? You're arguing that this.
so we've gone on to another one. Can we finish with that one? I haven't said you haven't let me speak yet.
No, you didn't. I asked you.
Well, and then just ask the question then. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You did, and then
No, I'm about to tell you, but you haven't let me. You haven't let me.
Okay, I mean you have already answered.
Okay.
Go again.
Right, okay. So Admiral E. Byrd, watch him on YouTube. You can see he was in a TV program. He took 4,000 troops down there, fleet of ships and that. He said he went beyond the South Pole. This is in a TV program back in the 50s. You can see this in a film. He says beyond the South Pole, he come across an abundance of more land, which is bigger than the size of America that he came across. That's what he says. Okay, Admiral E. Byrd. So when I say that is there a possibility of more land? Could it be infinite? Is there an edge? No, I don't agree that there's an edge, because we have never ever claimed that there is an edge. But programming and media and education, that's what we've been brainwashed to think. Sorry? Okay. Well, I mean, how do I not show an edge? I mean, like, it's on a photograph. How do I a picture, an image?
You're putting the premise.
Okay.
That there is something beyond what.
Well, no. I'm relaying what Admiral E. Byrd says. Relaying that.
At the same time as telling us not to just relay what we've been told.
Well,
you're relaying what someone else has told.
I know I'm here that I could never. Go on, carry on.
If there is potentially something beyond that point,
Okay.
why is there nothing useless? Why is there nothing happening? What is all of this programming?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, we should have scientific experiments, and we should be able to explore that, and then all this would be a done deal and all that. But the United Nations, they made a treaty signed by 53 countries that prevents me, you, and everybody else from going there. You have to jump through so many hoops, and then when you're there, you're escorted to about 50 miles, 100 miles inland. What's it?
What does anybody gain by lying about the shape of the planet?
I don't know. I'm not lying to you, so I can't answer that one.
That
Well, I think we should discover the facts first. I think we should decide: are we being lied to first? Did the moon landings happen? I think that these are the facts that we should look at first, and then we can discover what the why was and who.
I think a black place here.
Okay.
What's below here?
I don't know. Never been.
And what's a black? Why would there be a black plane that goes forever?
Okay.
You're essentially suggesting that we're living in.
Well, our reality is based on what we're taught. Yeah. Our reality is based on what we're taught. Because you can't right here, study here right now. You don't know whether there's space. You don't know what's underneath you. We're told that. Excuse me, that you're being rude again. When we're in, the deepest hole that we've ever dug is 7.5 miles, and yet you're confident that there's a core in there. There's mantle. There's an outer core and all of that. You're confident all that's in there, but we've got no proof of this. But we're sure of it. Sorry?
There are hundreds of experiments.
Based on pseudoscience, mathematics.
You're saying
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
All that stuff that's below it, mantle, all this. How do you explain it all?
Well, I've only ever seen glossy CGI cartoon pictures, but you've got it in your head, and we can imagine, we know exactly what's there, but you've never seen it. 7.5 miles, deepest hole.
No, I study earth science.
Oh, excellent.
And so I just think a lot of what you're saying just completely contradicts sort of basic evidence. That
Okay,
we observe.
carry on.
So the whole thing about what do you say? How we don't know how the mantle exists, and the core exists, and all that, but we do from seismic wave data, so we can see,
Okay.
literally see
What is at the bottom in the core? and how it behaves, and that it's gravity from the core.
What do you mean it's gravity?
Well, gravity is, where does gravity come from?
From the mass.
From the mass of which, the core?
Yes.
Or the whole planet?
The whole planet.
It's the whole planet is the mass.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you can prove this?
Yes.
Science can't prove this, but you can.
There is
How can
evidence. I
science
was
not
going to
prove
say.
that
Well,
gravity exists?
But that's what I'm saying. Science hasn't proved it. Remember, it's still a remaining theory.
You know
The
that
theory of
everything's
gravity still not been proved. It's
You can never fully prove a theory.
okay.
Like
Is that not semantics? Is that not a twist and a play on
You
words?
could say this, but we know that like that you can always have a theory that changes, but you can have a degree, you can have a probability that
I can have a
theory
belief. I can have I can have faith. I can have a belief in the pseudoscience mathematics that has been
So
presented.
what would you define as pseudoscience?
Okay.
Okay, so
Pure, maths, not based on my reality.
I never like
Maths.
as a very basic level, like what
Yeah.
is pseudoscience?
Look. See, you're getting caught up in the math side and the science side. When if you get down to basics, to science, just natural science basics.
Yeah.
If we can see land that should be over the curvature of the earth, land, and I could show you 1,000 different images of this, lots of land.
Okay, so let's take
Check
a
horizon.
If you're saying everything is flat,
Okay,
why can I not look down this street and see Everest?
and see where.
See Everest. Everest, if it's entirely flat, Everest is
And do you agree with that?
higher pitch.
I agree with him. Yes.
And do you agree with that? Let's
No,
see.
I don't agree fully with that because I think that the atmospheric.
Whey, thank you. Gold star for you. Just see how what's it close-minded we can be? How blinked?
It's the fact that look, it's just you're just overcomplicating it.
Well, no, they overcomplicated it. They said they're thinking that you can see forever. Super sight.
Think of the circumnavigations with clocks.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Think of the circumnavigations with clocks.
Excuse me. There's still land that we can see. This is spherical trigonometry based on Pythagoras' theorem. It says okay, so you know this one. For every mile there should be an 8-inch square drop.
Yeah.
And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh
no, okay, but you'll accept it here today and you'll check it, you'll double check it because you've got your leaflet, you can double check it. No, fair enough. Look, there is land that we can see that should be over the curvature.
Your friend was telling me about this, but I don't believe that line's 273 miles away.
Okay,
Because, so, for example,
because it sounds ridiculous that.
no, so, for example, when I'm looking across the English Channel,
Okay.
and that's 25 miles,
24, miles, yeah.
so I can barely see the cliffs on the other side of the ocean.
Okay.
So what makes you think that
Because-
I should be able to see this so clearly
Well,
when
because-
it's 273 miles away?
No, sorry, but that's 24.8 miles away.
Yeah.
300 feet should be hidden, and yet you can still see Dover. You can see it in its entirety.
That's because it's not just a 2D shape, it goes behind itself as well. So you're not
It goes
just
behind
seeing-
itself.
You're not just seeing this one cliff line,
Okay.
you're seeing a land behind
300
it.
feet is the highest point. 350 feet, sorry.
I don't understand what your point is.
Well, the point is, you shouldn't be seeing all of this. All of this land, and you should only see the very peak of maybe one or two cliffs. But we can see the entirety of the White Cliffs of Dover.
See, I'm not going to take that as fact because I would want
Oh no, you have to check that. Hey, look, I don't expect anyone to believe me here at all in one. In 5 minutes? You've got an education, But I do hope that you're open-minded enough to check a few videos out and then examine the calculation lot and examine all of these long-distance photographs.
So, what is your most compelling argument, in your opinion?
Well, okay, what? I have two arguments, and it is land. Okay, that's my first argument. Lots of land. I could show you thousands of images, of land we shouldn't be able to see. The next one is possibly the way aeroplanes fly. Okay, gyroscopes.
What do you mean the way aeroplanes fly?
Sorry, my phone is going to blow up. Will it blow up? Jesus. Hang on. Excuse me. Can I just see if I can just try and dry this? Because could you hold that for us? Because
See, I think my the fact that you've taken observations and you've created a solution to these observations, but they don't fit together, they don't coalesce, you take them as one piece, like you have this solution for this problem and then for another solution you have a...
oh God! If we had enough time, I could give you thousands of different instances of anomalies and questions that I have. But if you open that paper there, and you'll see Walter Lewin there with his gyroscope.
Okay.
Okay, he talks about gyroscopes. What's it on his on a YouTube clip there? He's talking to a classroom there, and he says gyroscopes are rigid in space, and gravity has no effect bearing on that whatsoever. That's what he says.
Yeah, but that's
Is he
the
wrong?
simplification of the
But-
gravity still doesn't have an effect. It's the fact that
Okay.
gravity's effect is counterbalanced by the effect of the gyroscope, the rotation and velocity of the gyroscope.
He's wrong.
He's not wrong, but he's
Okay.
oversimplified it.
I mean, he's quite a famous physics professor. You must have heard of him.
I haven't, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Okay, he's all over YouTube and that. Okay, that's what he says. And then what's it? See the artificial horizon there on the right? What aeroplanes use? Just there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That uses a mechanical. They used to use a mechanical gyroscope. Okay, inside there, and when a plane flies, you can see that ascend. You can see that fly level, and then you can see it descend. Okay, that's over. What's it? Let's say from here, London, all the way to Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, and it will fly level all the way. Okay, and it will never invert. Okay, it will never invert and go upside down. Remember on the ball. Okay, so now the newer ones they work off inertia, like a bit more like your MEMS device that's inside these.
Yeah.
They work off inertia. Okay, so when this ascends, you can see it ascend, and then it flies level, and all the way to Australia, it will fly level. Okay. All right. That's with the GPS off as well, so it's not to do with location. It's not to do. I was waiting for that to happen. Okay. Yeah. So it's not to do with. I'll sort that out in a second. It's not to do with GPS and all that. So what I did is, do you know what a 24-hour plug socket is? It's like you put security lights on and things, and it's 24. I built a little cradle for it, okay, and I put my level on here, put my phone on it, and I put 9 cameras all around it, and I filmed this over a 24-hour period, and it's sensitive enough to invert and go upside down all the way up, and that's with the GPS off.
Sorry, where did you set this up?
This was just in my lounge. Okay, so and you observe it invert and go all the way up and over. But on a plane, you don't observe this. And it's like, so how does my phone and these MEMS devices know the difference between my lounge and an aeroplane?
I don't believe that. I don't
Oh,
believe
well,
that your phone would detect inversion.
Of a 24-hour period?
If you show me the data, then
Okay,
I'll
well, oh, right, okay, I'll have to get that together. But I mean, that's a simple experiment to do for everybody. They can all do that.
I mean, I'll do it, but I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll work.
Yeah, well, because I mean, here right now, you know that would work here right now. But over a 24-hour period, you can watch that and you can see that for yourself. It is okay. Well, that's fine. But I hope you're open-minded enough to check that and challenge that yourself.
Well, no, of course.
Yeah, I'll on here. There's a website in there, and there's. Sorry, it's on that page because we folded it. FE Start. What I'll do is I'll upload, because I haven't uploaded it to that website. I'll upload that on there. So I would say it will be up there probably about the 6th or 7th of November, because we're doing a UK tour, and I finish on the 3rd. So by the time we get back and sort all that out, I'll put that data on there. You'll be able to see that footage, and you'll be able to see it and go over a 24-hour. But it'll be on a time lapse. Obviously, you don't want to sit there and watch 24 hours, so it'll be on a time lapse. But you can check this out for yourself.
So just something else that caught my eye as well was this diagram you've got here, and you've shown
Water.
that. So you believe that if Earth was a globe, as you looked at that, the water should sort of take a lens shape.
Okay.
But it does that.
It does that.
Yeah.
Because of
gravity.
Because of gravity, and we don't believe that gravity exists. We know it as density and buoyancy. The molecules in this are more dense than the air around it, so it falls through the air. And when it falls through the air below it wants to rise above it. That's buoyancy. Hot air balloons, I keep saying hot air. Helium balloons want to rise. They defy gravity. That seems the most simplest explanation of what you perceive as gravity. And yet, I think that everybody else is trying to overcomplicate gravity on two masses coming together. That has never been seen.
So you're saying there's a different. Your argument for this is an argument of buoyancy versus gravity. So you're
Density
saying
and
that,
buoyancy.
Okay, let's summarise this. So
Okay.
buoyancy versus gravity. So that's your hypothesis as to how. As to what?
So, as to two masses being attracted to each other. That's what you perceive as gravity.
To each other due to buoyancy.
No, I don't think that. I never mentioned that. That you're trying to bring that together.
No, I'm
You're trying to understand it. Okay, what we think.
But I'm just trying to.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair enough.
So Okay, so now we've switched arguments. So how would you say we can observe the traction between those 2-point masses on the diagram we've got there?
Okay, well that's the Cavendish experiment, and they're meant to show this in universities and all that around the country.
Can we create that experiment at home?
Okay.
Well, with the equipment, obviously.
It's just
And
that I
you can
can't find any evidence to that. Do you think that that's a
Just because you can't find
Well, yeah,
evidence
well-
doesn't mean the evidence doesn't exist.
okay? But like when we look for other evidence, you know, like for other scientific experiments and all that, there seems
Yeah.
to be a ton of information on the internet. You know, like that you can watch these experiments. There's videos and
Yeah.
things. But like trying to find that one, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Well,
Why
the thing
can't
is,
we
so
evidence
about
this?
Cavendish experiments is it such minute variations in their distance from each other.
Okay, because it's such a small thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I get
Gravity
that.
depends on mass.
Okay, I
That's
get
why
that.
it's hard to demonstrate
So is it?
on a large scale.
Is he a liar then, the guy who done this? Because he witnessed this in across the courtyard in another room with his telescope, and he witnessed it. Would he be a liar? I mean, well, because if he can witness it through a telescope,
Oh, no, I'm not
you know,
saying
on
it's a
the,
liar at all. I'm just saying.
well, do you think that we could witness it with the technology that we got today, and that we could zoom in with our camera? Well, where is this evidence? What, it should be okay.
You just can't. You just haven't looked.
Again, well, I have tried to look, but like maybe that you
It's
could
like
link us
saying
that
I can't
one.
do an essay because I haven't looked at the books.
But maybe you could link us a place for me to look. You know, as I say, I've got a website there, and you could link us a place to that. Because I have looked.
So just going back to this argument before, I didn't really understand. You sort of skipped around it. I didn't really understand.
Well, this is a broad start.
So explain to me from the very beginning about this sort of water spirit level argument.
Okay.
Yeah.
Water.
No, I'm just asking you to. Like,
Okay. Again, I can tell you a few things, but I'll never convince you in 5 minutes. It sounds like you've got a really good education.
Well, just give me like a quick summary, and I'll try and take your perspective.
No. Well, I mean, basically, water can form to the exterior of a ball. You
Yeah.
know, like that seems ludicrous to us. You know, like playing into a ball when the ball is spinning around at 1,000 miles per hour.
So you actually observe. So I'm assuming you're versed in centrifugal force.
And centrifugal force is that pull things in, or does that push things out?
So it's the force that's observed on a spinning body. So as this body spins, you get stuff forced out.
Forced out, very good.
We observe that on the Earth. We
Okay.
have what's called.
You know how they
geoid.
teach that at school?
They teach at school.
Yeah. Do you know how they do it?
No,
They
I
put water in a bucket and they spin it around their head. Which you know that would be ludicrous.
No, that's well. No, that is centrifugal force. That's correct.
Is it?
Yeah.
So although it's contained inside,
Okay. No, but it's not fully contained.
but they
So-
say they say that's gravity pulling things in again.
Right. So just take it from my point of view. I'll take it from your.
No.
point of
Okay,
view.
I'm listening.
Okay,
Sorry.
so let's say that bucket experiment proves that centrifugal force exists.
Okay.
You know, you can call it something different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we can observe that force on the Earth. We know we do get, it's not just a flat sphere. We get this bulge around the equator
Okay.
where the water is flung out slightly, and we have a larger radius around
Yeah.
the equator.
Okay. And we can see this.
Yeah, we can.
Can we see it?
Yes.
It's just that all the photographs that we've ever seen, that's never been
You don't
detected.
just see the photographs, you see the raw data as well.
Oh, so it's maths. We have to go back to maths.
But I don't see what your problem with going back to maths is. Like it's,
Because it can be all built on false axioms and premises and that. So that's the problem.
I disagree.
Because you have to take a leap of faith and belief that one person's data was correct, and then you base your data on the next person and the next person.
Look, I was thinking about this
Beliefs.
on like my way here. You can't just. You have to take something for granted. Are you a football fan?
I was. I've slowed down,
So
but
when you watch football on telly and someone scores a goal, how do you know that goal was actually scored? Are you going to say, oh, someone's just made it up, someone's just, come up with this goal and it's just happened? I'm not believing the telly.
Yeah.
The telly tells me this, I'm not going to believe it.
okay.
But you just got that, but you know that that's true because that's coming straight from that, you get that live feed from the match straight to your television.
And it could
it's the
be-
same sort of thing with maths, with physics, with science.
Okay.
You just know that's
Just
true.
dismiss your own investigations and.
No, I'm not saying to I take your own investigations into account. But
Okay, but
I
that's
don't
what we're
think
doing
your
here
own
today. We're asking questions.
But I don't think
but-
your own investigations will prove what you think.
Okay.
I think they'll disprove entirely what you think.
Okay.
And so far you haven't really given me any proof of any investigation.
No. I can't prove it. I can't convince you. I can't convince you in 5 minutes. I hope that you look into a little bit more of Walter Lewin's against what's it, the inertia, the MEMS device. I hope that you're open-minded enough to check out that and make sure all their maths is correct, and then look at land that you shouldn't be able to see.
See, fundamentally, all your arguments are qualitative, so they don't provide.
Well, they're real and natural science. You know, like whereas all you could try to persuade me, but all you can try to persuade me that I live on a ball is probably give me some form of equation and maths.
Okay.
You know, like and that's, for me, that's not good enough, because how can I be convinced by that when I haven't got the education to your degree? How could I possibly be convinced?
So let's leave those two arguments for now, and let's go to the next one. So you believe that all pictures of a spherical Earth are faked?
Yes. Oh, and we can prove a lot of that. I mean, we have. I mean, there's an awful lot of images you'd expect. So I would say that they haven't all been forensically tested. But do you know? Well, do you know what noise is in pictures? Okay, so I would like you and challenge you. There's very famous pictures. I'll say one, for instance, because I know you could go away and challenge this one right away. There's a phone called picture called Earthrise. They're there on the moon, and then they see that you got the waving flag. Then they can see Earth in the distance.
Yeah, no, I know the picture you're talking about.
Okay, so here's my question to you. They're there they take that picture. Okay, so when you put it through your histogram on your Photoshop, so you download that from NASA's website, put it through your Photoshop, change the histogram and that on there, and then you'll see that this pasted black box appears around the Earth. I'd like you to do that one, okay? But not only that, I'd like you to work out exactly on the Apollo landings, exactly where they landed. They landed right on the front face of the moon, okay? So they landed there yeah, that's right. We only ever see that. So that's where they landed. So if you ask yourself, if they landed there and we only ever see the front face of the moon, where should that camera have been aimed? Could we have had an Earthrise and see the scenery and the landscape? Where would where should it have been aimed at? Earth would have been up there. You would never see the landscapes.
I'm just going to look at this picture.
Please do.
That's actually.
Do you like that one, dear? Would you like that one? There you go. The Apollo landings has got lots of anomalies.
Oh no, that's easily.
Sorry, we are.
It's easily
okay. So
explained by normal.
Well, no, there's actually one with a flag as well that you can see. You know that you can get down. There's the astronaut there. He's got his flag.
But how does the flag make a difference?
Because it shows us that we are on ground level and that.
I believe we're on ground level there.
Well, no, because they did take other pictures as well. That like I think it was the lunar module that went round and all that. They took other pictures.
It's like so this one. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it could be.
It's artist consent.
Yeah, I was going you're right. There is a lot of that, but we're talking about a famous photograph that's actually on there.
That is explainable by the fact that we're just looking back on planet Earth.
Okay.
I mean, I agree. So your theory is explainable if we had a two-dimensional moon.
But I would like to. No. Just check where they all landed, and you'll see for yourself. You know, like they couldn't possibly ever have their eyes in the background.
So to get back to that.
Bloody hell. Yeah, go on.
What do people have to gain from?
Oh, you're not to come to me with the why yet.
But like, it just seems to me that just purely like cost benefit, it would be an absurd amount just to convince all these people to fake all these pictures, to fake all this data.
Well, there wouldn't be you're quite right, there will be an awful lot of people, but don't forget the Manhattan Project. They had 100,000 people in the dark. They were all working on the same project, and no one knew what they were working on.
So, just for you to just speculate a moment, what do you think that reason could be?
Okay. Was you here when I was talking about the possibility of more land?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. Thank you. Admiral E. Byrd. Okay, I don't normally. I've been trying to stay away from him a bit because I feel like it's second-hand information that I can't verify. But he's in Admiral E. Byrd. He's in a black and white. I think it's a TV interview back in the 50s, and you can go online. You can watch this. He says that he took 4,000 troops down to Antarctica. He said.
What time is this? Sorry. What time?
back in the back, he actually went literally from the 30s all the way to the 50s. But I think this particular one he's talking about is in the 50s sometime. When he did this, he was it 4,000 troops. He went. He said he got to the South Pole. They took an aeroplane down there as well, and all that. You can see all this footage. Took an aeroplane down. He said he went beyond the South Pole, and much further beyond the South Pole. He came across.
The South Pole.
So
he went over the South Pole.
Over the South Pole, okay. And then he said he discovered more land bigger than America itself. More land. Of course you can. Okay. So what do you think the land? Okay. So what do you think the land? What do you think the land he may have discovered? More. Okay.
Get to the South Pole and that's the end of the land.
Okay.
That actually explains more that it is a globe.
With warmer climates that are bigger than America itself.
Antarctica is one of the largest landmasses.
Okay. Okay, but this is the way he says this, okay, and I'm just giving you this, he was asking me maybe why, I'm just trying to put this in there for you to watch this interview and then you can make your own decisions on that, okay, but like with this, okay, as I say, because of this, they now brought out the Antarctic Treaty, which was a couple of years later after he did that expedition, a couple of years later, which prevents me and you going. Okay. Well. In your leaflet,
it prevents any country from taking ownership.
Okay. In your leaflet, there is the website there, and there is a video there all about Antarctica. And if you think, like right now, or even next year, if you've got a couple of £1 million, if you think that you can go, and it's quite easy for you to go, I think you'd be sadly mistaken.
There's lots of
hoops.
Regulations in order to protect it because it's part of the global commons.
Okay. And yet, sorry, I keep interrupting. I'm really sorry. Sorry, but like all of these countries that signed up to it, 53 countries, we've been at war with all of these countries, and yet this is the only treaty that has ever stood the test of time.
But taking it back to a fundamental level again. So you lambasted my arguments for taking other people's data and just assuming it was true, but then.
Sorry, I did say I try not ever talk about him because I agree it's kind of second-hand information and but there it is. but look, we've also got like the 24-hour sun in the north. We can evidence this. We can see this in the north. We can go up there. I think there's tons of video footage on YouTube now. 24-hour sun. You can see the actual sun.
Easily and simply explained by spherical heliocentric, spherical Earth, heliocentric model.
Okay, but in the south, I will get to you. Sorry, sir. In the south, and when you're underneath, there's meant to be scientists. There's meant to be the 24-hour sun there, and they try.
No, there's not 24-hour sun.
Oh, there isn't.
Dark at the same time.
Okay, say that again.
So when you have 24-hour sun in the north.
Oh, yeah, I don't mean at the same time. I mean during the year they'll have another 2 weeks of a 24-hour sun.
Earth's tilt.
Okay.
So that's due to the tilt sort of changing relative direction.
That's fine. So but we're still on the ball. Don't forget, the sun will still be 24 hours somewhere.
Sorry.
We're still on the ball. There'll still be a 24-hour sun somewhere. No, it's not a ball now.
There's not always 24-hour sun.
Okay, but
that's.
And yet they say that there is. They've tried. No, and yet you can go on there now, and they try to show you the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. There's lots of videos on there. But what?
Sun which exists for maybe I don't know the days, but for like a month or two at a time, you get 24 hours.
Oh yeah, I don't mean all the time.
Okay, so. Right.
Okay, yeah. Of course you can. We're not a planet, sir. We're not a planet. We're a flat plane. We are the centre. They could be. I've never been, but if you say so, not arguing there. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't think that's a valid argument as well, but I'll move on from that. So, how would you explain? Do you believe in satellites?
Oh no.
Do you believe? You believe in the moon?
Okay. Well, should we stick with satellites for a second?
Okay. Let's go to satellites.
Go to satellites, and I'll tell you why I don't believe in them. Okay. I have two reasons why I don't believe them. Okay. Number one is the temperatures in space. It's really cold in space, yes. Okay, but it also gets up to in the thermosphere and that and the exosphere. They get up to temperatures of 2,000 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, I was very confused about that, so I did a little bit of research to find out, well, why is that?
That's due to the composition of the atmosphere. How it varies around
Okay.
specific portions of ozone in the atmosphere.
So what happens is that the sun gives off radiative heat, and that radiative heat, once it comes on direct contact with something in space, that radiative heat will heat this up, and this will get this will reach up to 2,000 degrees Celsius.
That's not quite right, no.
Okay,
So you're confusing the thermosphere,
Okay.
which is a specific.
Oh no, all that data is kind of from NASA.com and.
Yeah, no, but you're confusing it with outer space.
Okay.
So the thermosphere and outer space aren't the same thing.
Okay, but what about like the Himawari satellite? That's 1 million miles away.
That satellite.
It's meant to take a video. Was it an hourly image of Earth every hour or so?
Okay.
But if you go and watch that footage, it kind of looks like CGI cartoons. I mean, you will agree when you see the moon pass transit Earth, you'll have to agree, or you don't understand CGI.
You find to differentiate between something that's like amazing, something that we don't expect to see, or
Okay.
something that's completely different from Westgate Shopping Centre to something that's unbelievable.
Okay. Well, so all I'm saying that there is satellites out there that aren't in our thermosphere, exosphere, and all that. But there is things out there. And all I'm saying is that they do get radiative heat. They do get up to them temperatures.
They don't get those
But that's what they say they do.
They get to those temperatures at certain small intervals of time.
But but it has to be.
2,000 degrees Celsius.
I mean, it has to kind of build up this heat because there is no air molecules to take any of this heat away.
No, you can, so just as the sun emits that heat through radiation, these bodies themselves further emit the heat through radiation again.
Okay, to take it away.
Yeah, it's what's called black body radiation.
I've only just learned this. I learned this. Your Cambridge fellow people taught me this the other day. But I've got to verify that because you'll agree this will have to be a belief. But I will verify what you're saying.
So say we've got a black body that absorbs radiation very well, but also emits radiation very well.
Okay.
Which is why things in space can keep themselves cool.
Can keep themselves and that's where that confuses me. I don't understand how that you can reconcile with that. They get extremely hot, but they get
They don't get
cool as
extremely
well.
hot and extremely cool as well. It's just that they absorb this heat and then they emit it.
Okay. And you're comfortable with that?
Radiation. Yes.
Okay. I find that really strange, but that's okay.
But what do you find strange about that?
Well, because I mean, it isn't hot and isn't cold.
No, you're
Oh, go on.
oversimplifying the argument.
Maybe. All right. Okay. Maybe I am. I'm simple farmer. Do you remember? But go on.
No, I mean, carry on.
Yeah. No. So that was my one reason about that.
So
Okay. My next reason.
So your first argument about why satellites can't exist is that they get too hot and break.
Okay. My next
So the next argument.
My next reason would be propulsion in space. How do these things get there? Where is the Newton's third law? For every action, there has to be an opposite and equal reaction. Propulsion doesn't have to push against something in space.
So
It doesn't.
So you kind of like counter argument to yourself in the same sentence.
Okay,
So every
go.
action has an equal opposite reaction.
Yeah.
So if this satellite or rocket.
Okay,
is,
rocket.
is pushing something out that end.
Okay.
Even if it's something simple as so when you let a balloon go.
But this is in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I know,
We're
it's
talking
the same
about
principles,
in a vacuum,
But you can still apply the same principle. So
But-
when you let a balloon go,
and it pushes against the atmosphere.
Okay, but it pushes against the atmosphere. So it pushes it doesn't push against. That's not the reason why it's moving. It's moving because something's exiting it,
Okay.
and it's then being forced out, and then the balloon is then being forced the other way.
And yet science says that a rocket, as it's leaving our atmosphere, it's pushing against our atmosphere as it's going and climbing. That's how.
It's pushing against our atmosphere. Do you mean there's resistance on the atmosphere?
Okay. There you go. So is that? So when it gets up, is there not resistance when it's in the greatest vacuum of space?
No, that completely.
Okay.
There's no resistance in a vacuum.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So what is it? What is it pushing against? Isn't that?
It doesn't have to push against anything.
Okay.
It just has to emit this force in one direction, and as you said, every action is an equal and opposite reaction. So if it emits a force in one direction, it doesn't have to be against anything. It'll travel in the opposite direction.
I think your Cambridge fellows actually say that so differently.
What do you mean they say it differently.
Well, no, they what's it? They I mean, like science. If you kind of read it, it says, and they were saying it was all to do with recoil.
Yeah, recoil. Yeah.
Oh, it is recoil.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Okay. Is that what that is? Well, I wasn't understanding the way you were saying that into it. You were saying that you were trying to say recoil.
So, but what's actually your argument with that?
Okay, my problem with that is I learnt the Joule's experiment. Okay, and he talks about free expansion.
I can't say I'm familiar with that.
Okay, and it was on about free expansion, that for every gas that is released in space, it would be immediately absorbed into the vacuum of space, and it would equalize with anything, so there wouldn't ever be a Newton's third law reaction thing, whatever.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
No, that's fine. But will you research Joule's experiment?
I will research it.
And okay, sorry, sir.
Just a little question.
Would you like a leaflet?
First of all, obviously the plasma engine. Have you heard of a plasma engine?
A plasma engine? I have. Okay.
Yeah, anyway, that's
Yeah.
the main thing is the Earth is like this.
Yes.
Flat.
Okay.
Where's the edge?
Oh, well, that's the program response, isn't it, that the media and government give us?
Well, just ask the
Well, what I'm
question.
saying is that no flat earthers.
Only question.
But no, no, and no.
flat.
Okay, okay, that's a funny thing. I should go away. Maybe I haven't got an answer to that. Okay,
Where's the edge?
we've never claimed there's an edge, sir.
Where's
Ever.
the piece?
Okay,
Where's the edge?
okay. Where's the edge of the universe?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I've not been there, so I don't know.
There's a flat Earth.
Okay, so could it be infinite?
Is there a
Could it be infinite, sir? Could it carry on forever? Maybe in your reality, maybe, because I don't live on that bit of paper.
Where's the edge?
I don't live there. I don't live there.
You don't live on the
I don't live on that bit of paper. What you're showing me.
But this is an example.
It's an example. It's an example. So that's no. You're trying to put words in my mouth. I've never claimed that there's an edge. There could be infinite infinite land. Carries on forever. I don't live there either. I live here on planet. I shouldn't say that. Shit. Sorry, guys.
This is flat.
Yes.
So you must go in one direction or another. Where's the edge?
Okay. Again, I don't know how many times you want me to say this. We don't live on a. We don't live on a planet. We don't live on a. A flat bit of paper. I have never claimed that there's an edge. It could be infinite. It could carry on forever. I've never claimed that. But that's program response because you may be seeing a photograph somewhere of ships going over there. That's brainwashing.
So if we walk in one direction,
Okay.
like for about 26,000 miles,
And you can do that. 24,900. But okay.
and we end up here again.
Okay. You can do that.
Yes.
Really? Who did that?
The people cycle around the world. People stunning.
Oh right, they do it in one straight line.
And fly
As the crow flies.
and fly around the world.
As the crow flies. One straight line. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, like, people do sail and people do fly, and they do go around the continents, east and west.
Yes.
Yeah, but no one has ever flown, as you say, as the crow flies, north to south, 24,900 miles, 24,900 miles. But yeah, but I mean, that's, as I say, people can go around the continents. We're not saying that there isn't an east or west. We're not saying that, but we are saying that there is no north and south. That expedition has never existed. 24 of all the expeditions and explorers, no one has ever done 24,900 miles ever. Doesn't exist. That be I don't know if you want to. Thank you.
Not answering the question.
Well, you're trying to get me to what's it?
If you walk in one direction for 26,000 around, well, I'd say
Which direction? Which direction?
East, west, north, doesn't make a difference.
Well, it really does make a difference, as for, like
You
for.
end up in the same place.
Okay, but again, have you done this? I mean, people can go round. The, what's it? The,
So I'm going to sit out for a moment when you do it, and you come back.
oh, well, there you go.
Come back in 6 months, and you're still here.
Will I?
I hope so.
Okay, we'll see. Nice to speak to you.
Okay, can I go back to the
Sorry,
satellite?
of course you can.
So I'm intrigued as to what your
Second one? Oh, we had propulsion. Okay.
Propulsion, which is
Can satellites not just be triangulation? GPS triangulation? I mean, 99% of all communications are underground sea cables, submersible cables. 99%. Why do we want the other 1%? I mean, like, can it not be ELOREN? Enhanced LOREN?
So how would you theorise that sort of, so let's say microwave radiation gets from one place to the other?
Okay.
How would you say that happens without the assistance of satellites bouncing it around
But you can't prove where that data's coming from. That's the thing.
But I can't, but you can't.
I mean, you don't know where that comes from. You don't know if it's that being bounced off the ionosphere or what. You don't know that.
All right, let's leave that argument.
Sorry.
So what's your next argument?
Okay.
What is that?
Well, go on, look, I'd have to have a little think about that. Satellites. Yeah, okay, the next part of it, have you ever seen one in space? I mean, like, okay, you've seen one.
Yeah, with a telescope.
With a telescope. Which one's that?
Actually, I saw it with my own eyes.
Okay.
It's easy to see with a telescope.
Go on, which one?
Oh God, I don't remember the name.
Okay, I mean, like, we're talking, like, how far up are they? 100 miles? You can see 100 miles?
Yeah.
And further? And you can see them?
100 miles.
I mean, you see, I'd imagine that you do see something. I mean, like, you can put a tracker on your app and you can see the International Space Station and you can see it go right the way along the skies and that. Okay, but if you try and zoom in and all that, you just kind of see a bit of a blob. You can't make out what it is. You don't know what it is. I mean, people have really good advanced telescopes and that. See that again? Well, if this is going to be the biggest, deception of mankind, I would suggest that it's probably some form of fast aeroplane or something.
How does the propulsion work
Cool.
for that blob then?
Well, I'm not suggesting it's in space. I'm not suggesting that at all.
Okay.
Why would they deceive us?
So that no, I don't know that bit.
No.
Why would they
You need to ask. I mean, like, if I suspect that this guy is lying, if I expect it's him, you don't need to ask me that. You need to ask him.
But if I lie, I have a reason to lie.
Okay, but
I have a reason to lie.
but I'm not lying. So how could I give you that reason?
1 minute. If somebody's lying,
Okay.
there must be a reason.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would they lie?
Right. Okay. So this.
You're telling us it's all a lie.
So this guy comes up to you and he says, "I've just been mugged," and you say, "Well, okay, I don't need to know who, don't need to know where, and all that. But why? Why did you get mugged?
No. Why did you lie?
I mean, you can't ask this person why first. You have to.
Whenever you suspect somebody of lying, there's usually
Yeah. I accept that. Right. I accept that.
Exactly.
Okay, but do you think we should examine the evidence first, and then we can decide on who is lying to us, and then we can make this person accountable, and then we can take him to court and make.
What's behind that? I mean, if I lie,
Well, that's why we're asking questions. That's why we're here today,
maybe I want to
sir.
take something from him.
I agree, and one day I agree, and one day I agree, and one day we will find out once they've been held accountable. We'll get there. It's what we should do.
Do you agree that all planets?
All, we're not a planet.
No. Do you think?
So I know. Sorry.
Hang on. Do you
Sorry.
agree that all planets are-
You didn't hear that. Sorry. I look.
I mean, we can
Okay.
see planets by microscope, by
Telescope.
and we can see that they're spherical.
It's very. You can.
Yes, of course.
What? You can see 3D.
Yes,
3D in a
you
telescope.
don't see
You,
3D.
well, you just said you
But-
can
but
see it's spherical.
Can see them, look,
Okay.
You can see them. You can put a video, and you can see that the planet is rotating because I mean.
From these distant planets.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
See, you can see that all these planets, they don't keep on one side. They keep on moving around.
Okay.
in
Which
a
ones?
slow motion.
Which one are we talking about?
Any planet.
Oh,
You're talking
all the
Mars,
same.
yeah,
Pluto.
No, you don't.
Not Pluto. Mercury. Mars. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
you can see it.
okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, we can see a red circle in the
And it
sky.
rotates.
So I
Okay.
get what so his point is that we can see this planet rotating.
Okay.
So say on one day we can see this flat disk. As
Okay.
You call it,
We-
and we can see these specific features on this flat disk.
Excellent,
But then
excellent.
a few days later, a week later or so,
It has a different
we
feature.
have a look at the same thing, and these flat features have moved along the disk.
Okay.
And
Okay.
So how do you propose
So what?
Well, we've got to.
How can we say that all planets are
Okay.
spherical?
Yeah.
They're rotating. What makes it so special that we become flat?
But I'm not denying that they're spherical or circle or what. I don't know. I can't prove that myself. But what I am saying is that has no bearing on the fact that we're not a planet. It has no bearing on that. Okay. Well, I can with land that we shouldn't be able to see.
Like what?
What do you mean?
I mean, how do you?
Did you see? I mean, we've had that conversation ourselves,
How do you
but he
prove-
hasn't had that
sorry, How do
conversation.
you prove that it's flat?
Okay. With land that we shouldn't be able to see. Would you like a leaflet, would you?
I've got the city council.
Okay.
And you are not.
There's a ruling somewhere.
Yes.
Where's that ruling? Could you show me that ruling?
You have to.
Well, okay, that's right. I know you want me to jump and you want me to do something, but could you? But
Can you let me finish?
go on.
I'm advising you that you cannot give out leaflets without applying to the council for a licence to do so.
So you'd like me to put my leaflet away?
I'd like to put your leaflet
leaflets away and I'd like you to...
Can I put them on the side and people take them as they wish? I wouldn't be giving them away. That means I'm abiding by your leaflets, your rule. I can't. Okay, there's a rule in there. Where could I find this ruling? Could you show me this ruling, or do I just have to jump on your say so?
What I'm saying is that if you don't move this and stop giving out leaflets, I can fine you. And
Okay.
£80 fine.
Oh.
I'll come back in about 10 minutes.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Bye bye.
Can I ask you one
Of course you
question
can.
before you leave, and then it'll be last question because I'm going to go to lectures.
Yeah.
So, how do you propose that this flat Earth formed?
How do I propose this flat Earth formed?
We've got.
Yeah. I would say. Oh God. People have mentioned this before. You know, like, are you religious? Are you a believer in God and all that? I've always said I've been an agnostic. Always been an agnostic. I think slowly I started to understand that everything about creationism, Big Bang theory. I mean, they're all based on people's theories and ideas and that. You know, like no, that's right. But I mean, for me, the Big Bang theory. That I mean, like that. There in my hands, that could be a possible new universe and galaxy about to explode and become something. Why not what? But how can, if it's all coming from nothing, what conditions can there be? But anyway, I don't believe in the Big Bang. It's just a theory, and it's something that never be proved.
How would you say a flat Earth?
Well, again, I kind of think that now I'm slowly thinking that if I don't believe in that and the intricacies of how I think that. I don't know, like an apple seed is. I don't know if you looked inside an apple seed and, you know, like, and see things like that. I'm slowly coming around to think that, yeah, we probably have got some sort of creators. Yeah. But I don't know, again, that would be, I think you've got to have an enormous amount of faith and belief and something else you can't prove, so.
Look, I'm going to go, but I respect you for thinking your own way.
And outside of my box.
And I'll have a look at the website.
Yeah.
I'm not
Brilliant.
convinced, but...
No, you could never convince an educated guy like yourself in 5 minutes.
I've had a good...
Oh, sorry, it has been. Yeah, it has been. Yeah. So I think I've got to talk to my friend over there just to make sure that, are we prepared to pay this £80 fine? So if you bear with us. Oh, look at this guy here. No, sorry.
It's very difficult to argue about, essentially, because...
Yeah, because it's a theory at the end of the day that can't be proven.
Well, here's the thing, see, I would say that, yes, the exact mechanism of the operation of gravity is still up to
Oh, well, what do you think of that, lads? That was a very hard discussion. You know, like quite hard, educated lads, but again, you can't convince someone like that in 5 minutes. Well, I was going to say, what's that like? That was like half an hour, I would suggest. Would you like a leaflet there? Oh,
She would love a leaflet.
there you go. Excellent. Oh, it's fiction. I did have fiction, believing in the sphere.
Let's talk about, say,
Yeah, that's right. Whereas the notice, you know, like she wants me to jump on command and follow. I need to speak to Harry. Sorry, quickly. Sorry.
So if you're saying that you can't take anything, you can't take other people's raw data as fact.
Yeah.
So do you believe in history? Do you believe that
Well,
historical events have happened?
Well, he says something that I kind of like. I think is quite profound. He says that that the winners write the history books.
That's true. 100%. That's definitely true.
Okay.
And so history obviously only tells us one story a lot of the time.
Well,
But do you believe
when I was looking into this chap here, Eric DeBay, he does a great video called The History of Flat Earth. And he talks about the Jesuits and Freemasons and how all of this has probably come about, you know, like with the deception and the way NASA was made up, you know, like, cause I learned little things like, you know, like NASA. It was kind of made up by Van Braun and that, and it's all full of when the war ended and all the Nazis, you know, like all came over rather than shoot all the Nazi scientists. We brought them all over to America, and then that started forming NASA. So when you start looking into that, I just think things like that is odd. No. I'm just challenging things. Yeah, good point. Could be. Good point.
Where does it stop? Where do you stop challenging things?
You put things on pending, and you until you can verify things and that. So there's a lot of cross-checking on things. You know. Sorry, what?
It's just so where does it end? Why this particular lie? Why
Oh, I mean, yeah. You know what? This is the hardest part about coming out today to speak to people. Is that you'll appreciate. I can only show, and we've only got a certain amount of time to talk about certain things. But
we're asking giving you the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, well, okay, let's talk about there. I mean, like, so these are famous experiments: Aries failure, Michelson-Morley experiment, and all that. These are peer-reviewed. You can check these out. Go online, and you can speak to these. Sorry, you can speak to these. This kind of like us, it tells you that the Earth is not moving around, not spinning around. Okay, these are famous experiments.
How do you, if the Earth's not spinning,
okay,
how do you explain the weather and the climate and the fact that tropical storms form when air rises and they form because the Earth spins?
Well, there used to be a site that you could go to, and they took off the AE map. They took off. And basically the weather patterns and all that were adequately explained, perfectly explained. And I forget what the site's called. I can't think of the name, and I should write that down because there's a site that you can go to, and when you see it on a proper sphere, you know, like all of this data and all that it's all the weather pattern data and the currents and temperatures and all that. It looks nonsense on a sphere. It's all over the place and all that. And yet when they put it on an azimuth or equidistant map, it kind of all flows kind of like correct. I wish I could show you that in a bit more detail. Sorry, I must speak to before I'm getting an £80 fine. Earth is a lot more closer, and the sun a lot more closer and a lot more smaller. Just like me having a torch here, it wouldn't light up the whole area. Sorry, it's here. I'll speak to you in a second. Sorry. I need to speak to you. So we just had the council come round, and they said that if we need to cease from putting leaflets out, and we must put away the banners. This banner here on the floor, probably them ones over there, or we're getting an £80 fine in the next 5 minutes. I assume so. So, well, do you think we should try and avoid it? And 80 quid's 80 quid, and that just means that the tour needs to, you know, like, help out with that.
We'll roll up the banners anyway,
and see if we can keep that one up. Yeah.
Who was it? I didn't see
someone from the council. No notices. No. I asked her, can we see anything? Would you like to leave it there? What's this, man? Right. So I asked her if she's got any sort of like policy, something to show me, anything, or do I have to jump on your command? Okay. You know, like, but I guess that she wants me to jump on her command.
I'm not getting any comments on my feed, but it's live and I checked it on my phone.
Okay.
But I don't see any comments coming up.
Is anyone watching Harry's live feed? And if you are, could you just give us a thumbs up if the comments are working, because he's not seeing it? Yeah, that's right, Mr. Tate. There is no legal notices, but even still, you know, like, I think they'll be hovering around somewhere. There could be a possibility of an £80 fine.
And remember, Tommy, don't give me your real name and ask you your real name.
No, that's right. That's right.
How are you going to post?
Yeah.
How are you going to post
an £80 fine? So what were you saying? You're saying just carry on, or? It says Harry's stream is terrible, I've been told, but your chat is working. Thank you very much. Does that?
This will get to me.
Yeah, well, it will do. That's your video, isn't it? You know. Oh, so really good start so far today. Oh, did you see that response? That response there was.
I've not had a very good start.
Had a little bit of a mental breakdown. You know. There you go. Would you like a leaflet there? Would you like a leaflet? There you go. So.
Sure, an effort work.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's my
there you go. Would you like a leaflet there?
Pleasure.
There you go. Oh, would you like a leaflet there?
I'm good, thanks.
Excellent. Good. Would you like a leaflet there? No. Okay. Yeah. Here because of. Okay. Oh, I did. Yeah, I did, but I was open-minded enough for investigation. Yeah. Sorry, of course.
About going back to Antarctica. So I didn't realise.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Where the theory was that Antarctica was.
Okay.
It's all the way around
It's well, because south is everywhere. Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, when you're kind of like when you're flying, or when you're in a boat and that, if I was going east, you know, like and every direction, my new north would appear in every direction. My new south would appear in every direction.
So how would you then? There are boats that have gone around Antarctica. How would you have done that?
They are boats that are going around in Antarctica. But that's what I'm saying. If you check Captain Cook's logs, he wrote a book. Captain Cook took how long to go around?
I'm not sure. Travelled 76,000 miles.
76,000 miles to go, and it didn't work out. He shouldn't have took that long. He added on another few years.
Antarctica, there are people who live in Antarctica, people working in the scientific basis of Antarctica.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand how do they sorry, I can't even formulate how aggravated this makes me, but I'll try and think about
Well, look, you've got a website there, haven't you, to go to, and will you check out some information?
Well, I hear it all the time because, so I was telling you guys, I'm a geography teacher.
Okay.
And one of the most difficult, well, not even difficult, but frustrating things that there are students who I teach who are 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of them do kind of say it as a little joke, but they say to me, I'm teaching them at the moment about the structure of the Earth.
Right,
and
okay.
the core and the outer core and the mantle, okay? And they say, oh, but Miss, the Earth's flat.
Okay.
Some of them. And they're saying it as a joke, and like, it strikes up a massive debate because there are obviously students in there who are
But they
saying,
should
like,
be.
what on earth?
That's what you want them to be
Okay,
critical thinkers?
It's good. I do, and I question them about it. I say, why do you think that? And then they
Okay.
say, oh, because I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see that it's this, and you should be able to see blah blah. And they come out.
So they're
with
not
all
giving you
these
enough information back. You
no,
know?
they don't
They're
know
not,
enough,
right, of course.
which is fine, but yeah, they do question it, and it's great for them to question it, but then that's when I can turn around and say, okay, but we know about this, we know about this, we know about this.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult when, I mean, it's just...
But when you say that, because you're the teacher, and,
Yeah.
and when you say that they know, you're teaching them something, and they've got to, in order to get that job, in order to get a job later on, they have to pass that exam. So they have to repeat and regurgitate for that exam.
Can I just ask you one question? Why would anybody lie about the Earth?
There you go, Harry. He'll fill you on that one. I hate that why.
And I understand that it's good for them to question it.
Okay.
But
Did you?
Did I question it?
When you presented this ball of 5 years of age, and then all the way through your life, did you ever question where you live?
Did I question where I lived? I mean,
As in, was it that you do live on this sphere? Because I didn't. 47 years old, and I never questioned it once. It was a given. I mean, why would you question it? It seems the most silliest thing to do. Of course, we live on a ball, a sphere. I didn't know what the model was.
Because it's something that science, and I know what you're going to say to this, but it's something that science tells us is true. There are experiments that have happened,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of things which go on. It explains the conditions.
I felt exactly the same way.
Okay, then that's fine. We've come to different conclusions, but how do you explain the fact that we have evidence of the structure of the Earth? How do you explain when an earthquake happens, it travels, the seismic waves travel, and it's felt at different points of the globe?
Yeah.
How do you explain the Earth's magnetic sphere, because the core is made up of 80% iron, and so how does anything orbit the Earth if we don't have a magnetic?
But that's the thing. These are all kind of like the theories again. I mean, like
This is a theory. I don't understand.
I showed you land that shouldn't be able to see. That is meant to be over the curvature, over the Earth. Did you got the spherical trigonometry on there, Pythagorean's theorem? Once you realise that maths is correct, there is so much land that should be over the curvature of the Earth. Sorry. Well, no. But I'm trying to put that back onto science, and mathematics. They're telling us that this ball is 24,900 miles. If they're telling us this, we're kind of just saying that, well, okay, we'll use that mass. There has to be a curvature drop, a mathematical formula, which happens to be that spherical trigonometry. If that is correct, 8 inches per squared mile drop, if it is correct, then we shouldn't be seeing all this land. I mean, there's lots of land. There's a guy on YouTube right now, and he's showing you land at 600 miles away with his infrared camera. We shouldn't be seeing land at 600 miles. That should be so many miles over the ball. we shouldn't be saying any of that. On that leaflet there's 273 miles, and you can see land, and that should be like 3 miles plus over the curvature. So I could show you hundreds and thousands of these images, and you can find them yourself. All you have to do first is to understand a little bit of that spherical trigonometry, decide that it's right. I take it you've got a maths teacher there somewhere that you know. Take that to him and say, look, is this idiot, this farmer, is he correct? Is that right, that formula? And if he's happy that that's right, and he comes back to you, then
that's enough proof for you.
I mean, like, what? That's the questions that we're asking. They're the questions that we're asking. That as an adult, a critically thinking adult, that is not being submissive no more and being blinkered and saying, yeah, okay, science, I bow down to you and I won't ask more questions. I'm now asking questions and saying that I want further evidence.
Okay, that's fine to be critical and to ask questions, but you're saying that there is a problem with the science and the theories that we have been told.
Okay.
And yet, here are these people providing an opposite theory, more science, things which people are meant to believe. So why not just challenge what exists rather than presenting this whole new thing which you are then expecting people to believe? It's a contradiction in your argument.
Okay, but there's today here. There's more to it that I'd love to show you. That's why we presented the leaflet. Once you go on there and you see all the rest of the evidence and more videos and things that you can, and it will give you enough of an argument. We've been asking people to go away and debunk things, because I know that I could never convince anyone here. That would never happen. I mean, like, yeah, I'd feel that people would be very sort of weak-minded,
But I think that's so unfair to say that I'm weak-minded.
No. Sorry, I think you've misunderstood what I said.
You're weak-minded.
No. You've misunderstood what I said.
Okay.
I'm just saying that a person, if I could convince someone in 5 minutes that they would be weak-minded enough to just believe what I'm saying, I don't believe that you are for a second. That's why that you are challenging me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really interesting to talk to people about it, because obviously, yeah, it's good to be critical, it's good to ask questions. Like, as a teacher, that's what I want people to do.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult if anything you present to a child, they say, oh, but I can't see it, so how is it true? That becomes really difficult.
Yeah, I accept that. They should have a little bit more substance to bring to you.
Right, because we can, especially when they are younger, like I teach kids from 11 to 18.
Okay.
When they are younger, you have to simplify things a bit.
Yeah.
You can't present them with, I mean, I don't know it well enough to present with the way that this other guy was talking earlier. He had so much knowledge, I don't have that kind of knowledge.
No.
I have to present a more simplified version.
Me too.
Yeah. So.
But we've got people that are flat earthers that have got master's degrees in physics and that, and we do Speaker's Corner as well. And we had this chap with us, as I say, master's degree in physics and that, and he challenged anyone that was talking about the physics and that, and kind of like these guys couldn't stand up to what he was saying. His arguments were flawless, what he was saying. But I can't have this conversation on that level. We know what we know.
Yeah.
So
I think it's dangerous to dismiss something just because you don't understand it. I think that's the.
I'm still learning today. It hasn't stopped yet. I'm still learning today. Do we leave it there?
Can I ask about your image?
Of course. Which one?
So, let me just make sure I'm not misunderstanding.
Okay.
Do you believe or do you not believe there is an edge?
Okay, I can give you is I don't know.
You don't know.
I know that's not good enough for people, but there could be either way. There could be an edge, there could be a dome, there could be further land. I don't know.
That actually, it's likely that there's a lot more expanse to this plane.
Yeah, I mean, for me that makes sense, because the very notion that because I've been brainwashed and programmed just to got like you guys to think that, oh, what about the edge? There must be an edge. Mate, you just showed us that bit of paper. It makes sense to me. There has to be an edge. But
so you, in your opinion, what's your hunch? There's an edge or there's not?
in my theory, if I'm at home, I keep this one to myself and no one can hear me. Yeah, I actually infinite lands makes more sense to me.
Infinite land makes more sense to you.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Let's imagine instead we can't see this here. There's actually it's a big image, it's a massive infinite.
Yeah, and it carries on.
Why does the moon and the sun only go around this bit?
I don't know. I don't know, but there is. But there is. I mean, obviously, I've only got a certain amount of knowns because there's certain experiments that I haven't done. I haven't been up there to check for myself. But there is another model out there called the electromagnetic Magnetica universe. You know, like, so that's a model that's been currently explored, you know, which is all to do with electromagnetism, you know, like, so to do, you know, like, what's it, negative ground, and, you know, obviously the higher and further you go, there is a more positive, you know, as you go up further along, hence that's where all your lightings, it comes from the aurora borealis. You know, like, so there is a voltage up there as you go high. So people are examining and discussing the electromagnetic universe, you know, but that's a little bit beyond myself.
So what's stopping this part?
Well, because it makes more sense when we look at the sun and moon together. They appear to be the same size visually. So we assume that these are smaller, more local. So if I was here shining a torch here, I wouldn't be able to see it from down there. We believe that.
Oh, so you think it's even smaller than represented here?
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, like, nothing to this is to scale. We're using it as examples.
But then if it's smaller, then smaller and closer than represented here, you wouldn't have such an area.
Possibly, yeah.
You have it.
Possibly.
So it's like a one or the other.
Well, I don't know. I have not examined that, so I don't know. I mean, like, there's certain knowledge that we couldn't know yet. I mean, this is the thing. People ask. Well, here's the thing. People ask, you know, like, what is one of the whys and all that, and one of the whys could be control. The very fact that, I mean, like, in society today, I don't know if you've got enough money in your back pocket to do all these experiments and go around the world and hire teams of people. I don't know if you can manage to do that, but in my profession, I can't afford to do that. So control, it could be. Okay, I'm gonna have to pack up some of these things, I think. So they're discussing. That's what we want, they're discussing. So guys, I've got to put some of these away. We've been told to, before the council give us a £80 fine. Because you're not allowed to talk about things here. They want to, thanks very much for your, what was your name? Laura, thank you very much, Laura. Great conversation. There you go. So Laura is a teacher, and she's tired of all the children asking her flat earth questions, which is brilliant. That's what we want to hear. You all right, buddy? Yeah. Thank you very much for helping out today. Sorry, it's a blooming council, we know, like, they don't want us to. Push. There you go. And cheers, buddy. Yeah. I just want to say to you, off camera. Sorry, guys. I want to speak privately off camera. Yeah. They want the banners off the floor, and they don't want us to put any leaflets out or £80 fine. Okay?
Oh, right, okay.
So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to put the leaflets away.
Right, okay.
And hopefully that they don't want to give us an £80 fine for this big banner. You know, they're trying to divide us.
What's the law on that?
Well, that's it. There probably is no law. I mean, like, where's the policy? They wanted us to jump. Where's the information? But, like, let's just do what they're saying now and, you know, get on with it. Very annoying. I'm going to keep the big banner up, and hopefully. Yeah, sorry, the council are kind of like.
Yeah, it's probably part of the big conspiracy.
Well, it is it not? Pardon? Is it not? I mean, like, all we want to do is talk and ask questions, and we're being asked not to. Well, that's up to you to think that, yeah, maybe. Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I've got leaflets and I can take you to a website and all that, but we've been asked by they've just kind of shut us down, the council. They don't want us to give out any information on leaflets.
Oh, well, give me one of the leaflets.
Okay, well if we go around here.
That is hilarious.
In there, there's a leaflet. Okay, because I'm not giving it to you. There you go. And it's got a website in there, and we're just asking people to go to a website, watch some videos, and well, chat. You know what the word debunk is, do you? Just challenge it, and thank you very much.
Okay.
There you go.
Here's the question.
Okay.
In a vacuum,
In a vacuum.
let's more or less.
Okay.
You have a bunch of liquid gaseous matter. Okay.
In the vacuum,
Yeah.
as
In
in
space. In
There's
space.
liquid in space.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And this-
And what's going to happen to this spread out matter? Gravitational pulls
Okay.
are going to pull it together. It's going to pull it
Pull things together.
so that in the end, it's going to end up more or less
that right?
as a
In a
sphere.
vacuum.
As a sphere.
And we can-
Just, if I can finish.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Just as
Rude of me.
if you pour some water
Okay.
on a flat surface,
Yeah.
gently, it's going to form itself more or less into a circle.
Circle, but not sphere.
No,
Okay.
no. But if you then go from our more or less two dimensions
Okay.
to our three dimensions,
And we go to space.
you've got a blobby stuff there, blobby, gaseous, liquid. It's going to coalesce into
Okay.
a sphere.
Okay.
It's not going to coalesce into a fucking pancake.
Is that? The thing is, you've seen this. You've done this demonstration.
Is it not obvious?
I don't know. I've never been to space, but
Neither have I.
It's been done. The
Is it
experiments
not
with the
obvious?
vacuum and the water forming together have been
So-
done.
so I can-
Gas does come together.
It's
so
just-
I
it's
can
just
put this vacuum. I can do a vacuum here, and I can pour some water.
Well, no, not
Oh,
quite.
not-
no,
oh, well-
not quite, because
Well, he's saying no. You're saying yes.
well,
Oh, I'm saying if I create a vacuum.
No, and then I must add in conditions which I still make clear. In the first place, in a vacuum with minimal gravitation.
Very good. Right. So now I know what that means. She forgot that one. Okay.
So, tell me.
But the thing is, I can't evidence this. Can you evidence this? Because
It's not obvious.
when you say obvious, where would I get this information? How can I do this?
No, is it not intuitively obvious?
What that if I was in space, I could pour some water and it would all and the gravitational pull will pull things together. And what is the nucleus of that? What is the thing of that's going to be pulling things together?
Well, because stuff pulls towards stuff, does it not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's what's the scientific models of that when all these particles are being gravitational and they're pulling together, and then they get up to pebble size, that they start coming apart again. That is the 3D models that have been done. So you're saying?
Why do they come apart?
I don't know that part. Why? I mean, I'm just suggesting that's what other scientists are investigating.
Such as?
Sorry.
Such as? Give me a reference.
Well, I take it you've never heard of that.
No, it's nonsense.
Okay, but can I ask you to check that out for us?
No.
Oh no. Okay. In that case, thank you very much for your time.
A very typical move.
In what way?
Well,
I mean, I'm not expecting to. I'm not expecting to teach you.
typical move.
You know you're live on YouTube.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
very
Yeah.
typical
It's what?
move
It's a witch.
by charlatans that when
Why-
they're asked to
Why are you being
provide
upset?
sources,
You're being upset, sir.
they say,
Why are you being so triggered and upset?
this is not me being upset, son.
Isn't it? I know. I was just saying the same. Well, we're getting too angry. Are we being, Harry? Are we being trolled? We've got this guy being so angry as well. What's going on? We've had a really good day. We've been on a fantastic day, and everybody's been calm. And then all of a sudden we get two people, and then they're being very angry. What's going on? Are you together?
This is
You're
not
not
me
together?
being very angry, sunshine.
Okay, well, it
Even
seems like-
this is not me being very angry.
Okay. Is this the way? Is this the way that we should all? Is this the way that we should all be? Conduct ourselves?
Who's we?
People? Should we conduct ourselves this way?
Yes.
We should all be browbeat. We should browbeat people. Yeah. We should all raise our voices with anger. Should we do that?
If it feels appropriate, yes.
Oh, I'll leave you there. You seem a little bit upset, sir.
But you're still not answering my question.
I don't want to talk to you no more. I think you're quite rude, sir.
Rude. Rude.
There you go. I'll come away because he seems quite very angry. Oh, thank you, sir.
Right. Why exactly, sir?
Oh,
That's why.
there's children about, sir. Children.
Excuse me.
Of course you can.
I don't mind being live on YouTube. I've got a YouTube account. If the world is flat, how does the water go off the edge, or how does it stay day and day? How does the sun go down? Because if it's flat, it will be on it. Yeah, because it's like everything's
we see it go
rising.
out. See it go out of our perspective.
Isn't it like, how does it stay different? Like
Oh, we actually think that. We think that it's a lot smaller and closer, more local, and going around just like if I have a torch here, and so it's a lot more. It doesn't light up the whole square. So if it was here, so that's what we believe. Okay, because that's what it looks like when we look at things like that. So Eli, say that again.
Why they told us Earth is round?
Why do I?
No, why they told us before Earth is round? You believe it's not round?
We don't believe it's round, no.
Yeah, so why they told us it's round?
Yeah, I've been limited to show you. We have evidence. We have evidence of long distance photographs that we can see land that is meant to be over the curvature. So we've got tons of evidence like that. I normally have a leaflet out to give you, but
Evidence before. But
okay.
Why they told us it's round, but it's not round?
It's not round. Yeah.
Why they said it's round? Why before they told us it's round?
I mean, like up until the 1900s, like we still in the education system was still teaching people that the Earth is flat up until the 1900s, and then now, you know, like since
That is not true.
That is not true.
The education system taught people the Earth was flat until 1900.
Up until 1900, yes, the educational minister, 1903. I know you seem very triggered.
Dante's Divine Comedy.
Okay, excuse me, sir. You need to.
It's
Will you please stay away from me? I've asked you to stay away from me,
clear
sir. I'm feeling very threatened from you now. Please, yeah. Can you go away, sir?
Dante's Divine
Yeah.
Comedy has the Earth as spherical.
So some people are very upset. Sir, there's kids around. Can you just please go away? There's children about, sir. Please go away.
No, I won't go.
Yeah, it's really.
It's the public space.
But you're being very abusive and there's children about.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Seems quite.
I find these dogs quite harassing. What's your number?
Unbelievable. Right. Unbelievable. I hope you're all seeing this. This is one triggered fool. One triggered. Sir, please don't come near me. I have a personal space, but I still have my own personal space, and I would rather you keep away from me. So we have one triggered person here who's really upset. We should be able to discuss, talk. You know, everybody seems quite upset over the fact that we have a difference of opinion. Hence, that's why we have cameras as well. No, we don't. This is it. He is probably. He's the second one. We're doing a UK tour, and we're asking questions. We're debating, talking to people. We have some great conversations with people, and that's the first triggered person that's been so upset that he just can't take it and wants to fight people. The fact that we live on a ball. That's what he thinks. If it's flat.
How does gravity and gas feed around it?
Well, up until the age of 47, I've always believed in gravity, and then when I've just started challenging gravity, I've been asking the proof of gravity, and it seems I didn't find out. I just recently found out that it's still a theory. It's like the Harry Potter wizardry of everything being pulled down to the centre of the Earth, of the centre of the mass of the Earth. And it cannot be proven. It is still called a theory. It's 2018, and they still haven't proved it. And can it not be like this phone? Could it not be the molecules in this phone is heavier than the air around it, and so therefore, with density and buoyancy, that falls through the air, and the air below it wants to rise above it, just like a helium balloon would want to rise above and defy gravity? Can it be as simple as that?
If they dug into the middle of say they'd get there in not that long because it's flat.
Okay.
So it's like.
Do you know the deepest hole that we've ever dug to find out what's below us? 7.5 miles. That's it. We don't know what's underneath. But like they've invented these mathematics seismic models that kind of like show us that what is underneath, you know, like a some sort of sonar thing that goes across. But like, how can we prove this? That they have their maths right and their theories right? We can't prove this.
Why are satellites pretending that?
Well, I mean, you only have to look at your own satellite. Let's say Sky Satellite and all that. Is it pointing up there to space? I mean, you only have to look at the angle of where that's pointing to. Just point out. Satellite. So like GPS, we kind of GPS for us, more than triangulation. You know, like using ELORN, triangulation. I mean, like, because on your phone now, I mean, most people walk around all day and they think that their phones are going off to satellites. Their phones go to cell towers, okay, and then them cell towers are communications goes all undersea cables all around the world. 99% of all communications and data are on undersea cables. 99%. It's like, what do we want satellites for? 1%. There's no reason to have satellites. All our data, internet, everything is undersea cables. So, which one am I ignoring? Don't say all. Please be more specific, please.
Not really anything specific.
Okay. No. There's a few things that are on pending. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, that's a huge subject. I mean, all of science, because you just said all. You know, so and that's why we challenge people. You know, like we say, let's be more specific. Satellites in space. This gentleman here, you mentioned that, satellites. Okay, in space, it's pretty cold in space. I think it gets minus 200-300 degrees Celsius. But it gets really hot as well. Say what? That was close then. Come on, you're being more accurate. Very good. So, okay. I'm sure it's cold in space, okay? Right. So did you know it gets up to 2,500 degrees Celsius as well? Okay. I was very confused about that, and you know, I did a little bit of research because there's radiative heat up there. Okay, and radiative heat, them temperatures can only be experienced when it comes on contact with something. Okay, so when you've got these satellites in space, and that radiative heat that hits them satellites, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. But them satellites, aluminium, titanium, two main components, 660 degrees, 1,600 degrees, they're the melting points of satellites in space. So how could they exist in space? So we're asking questions like that, and then if we think about, if you go and look at all the footage of satellites in space, you'll only be presented with CGI and cartoons. That's what you'll be presented with. Okay, you can't seem to find photographs of satellites in space. You know, like so we're looking at maybe the proportion of satellites getting up there. You know, like a proportion of rockets going into space.
Have you got a leaflet? Never seen the International Space Station.
I've seen something fly across the sky when they tell us, but I have to have a big belief and faith that what I'm seeing is some people in a very thin tin can traveling around at 17,000 miles per hour. I have to have an enormous amount of faith to believe in that. Sorry.
Have you got a leaflet to go with it?
I did. We've got plenty of leaflets, but we've been shut down. We've been shut down by the council. They want to give us an £80 fine if we hand out our information.
So even if I ask for a leaflet?
There's a bag behind there. You can put your hand in that bag and you can grab a leaflet.
That they're stopping you because they'll let anybody else do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you think.
No, but there's a bag behind there. If you dip into that bag, you know, this guy's going to grab a leaflet. Because I'm not handing it out then. Yeah, so propulsion in space, for Newton's third law, for every action there has to be an opposite and equal reaction. How are them rockets pushing against the vacuum of space to propel themselves forward? They steam, is it?
Yeah,
We'll say some sort of gas, okay, or rocket fuel, spent rocket fuel or something. Should we say that? Or is it steam?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so something comes out. But that's something that's pushing out. It's still got to it's still got to push against something in order to propel forward. For every action, there has to be an opposite and equal reaction. So, what's it pushing against?
So, like, if you throw a ball, is incompatible.
That's recoil. Okay, so we're talking about recoil and all that.
How they fly around.
Well, that's what I thought. And then if you look up the Joule's experiment and look up what free expansion is, and it tells you this free expansion that recoil cannot happen. Okay, because the vacuum of space will take any gas in a blink of an eye an instant, and there'll be no recoil from it. You still have to have I mean, for me to have recoil of a gun, a bullet, and all that, I've still got to kind of hold that, you know, like a rigid. And, you understand? To have that recoil, I've got to hold that. So all I'm saying is look up the Joule's experiments and free expansion, and then think about that one again. We're asking questions, and that's all. I know I'm not going to convince anyone. We're not about to convince anyone. We're trying to challenge people to ask questions, you know, and get to our website on that leaflet.
I have asked you,
you know, sir, I won't be speaking to you because you're very rude. Yeah,
Are you okay to speak to the police as well when you come?
yes, I can.
Just so it's not a one.
He's become very threatening.
Yes, I'll use that word.
In front, and there's lots of children. Sir, there's lots of children about. Will you please go away?
And don't you want them asking
Ooh, I speak to anyone. I won't discuss you with you. No, sir. Not when you've been very threatening. No.
I have not threatened
You've been very threatening.
I have not been threatened.
So there you go. Please keep away. Sorry. Right.
You come up.
Yeah. We're people like this. Very dangerous people.
Let it go.
There you go. Sorry. Are we talking? Oh, well, we're not a planet. That's the thing. We're not a planet. We're on a flat plane. So anything that's going up there has no relation to us. Do they? When you see the formations of.
How do you get a flat plane?
Okay.
How
So, do you believe in like the Big Bang theory?
Yeah.
So you're okay. You can accept information from one man and not have any evidence to support that whatsoever. I mean, there's a lot of science that disagrees with that. Full stop. You know, because
Yeah.
well, there is. You know, but for every minority that starts, eventually it will be the majority, will it not? For every minority, because flat Earth was the majority once upon a time.
That's why we didn't have theory to prove that.
Well, back in was it early 1900 or late 1800? There was Auguste Piccard. Okay, he was the first person that went up high enough to see the full curvature of the Earth. He was the first person to go up high enough. I forget the exact date, but Auguste Piccard. And when he came back down, he was speaking to Popular Science magazine, and he's been quoted. He's in that Science magazine, and he says, "Yeah, there's no curvature, it's flat everywhere." That was the first information that we ever received from the first person that ever went up high enough. Okay? And a circle. Well, when you say everything, what does that mean to you? Well, well.
Oh yeah, it's like the Snapchat thing.
But I mean, obviously there's atmospheric conditions and things, you know, like to see further on forever, is there not? Oh, I don't know. That's a big question. How would I possibly know that? I've never been to all these planets. Have you? But you seem to. Do you believe in all these other planets? And that science knows their weight, their composition, what's inside, what they're made of.
Science is a guess until they prove it wrong.
Yeah, that's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just guess. I think that's terrible.
I think that it's more like the Earth's round than that.
Oh yeah, because you haven't looked into it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't give you all leaflets and all that, but if you can remember this web address, festart.co.uk, festart. In there's so much evidence for you guys to watch some videos, and then you can make up your own minds. Because I couldn't possibly change your minds in 5 minutes. Would never happen. Do I need a degree in science? I do not have a degree in science, but I challenge physicists and master's degrees. But we do have lots of flat earthers that do have master degrees in physics. No, they're not. But there's oh god, and we happen to come to Cambridge, one of the main prestigious places of education. And no, we don't have anyone with a technical background like that.
My mother has a degree in science.
Okay.
We'd probably argue with you quite
Oh, that'd be great. that would be great. Do you-
My mum would argue with you.
But do you think she could convince me of all the land that I can see for for hundreds of miles that I shouldn't be seeing? Do you think she convinced me?
Not when you look at the sea, you can see the horizon.
Can you see the horizon?
Yeah.
And you've evidence to this? You've ever taken a photograph and
I
well,
see the horizon.
Okay. Can I suggest?
That's the most real thing.
Can I suggest one thing for you to try? Next time, try and get yourself a photograph, a camera or something that does not have a fisheye lens. Well, the second that you've done that, I would like you to take that photograph, put it on your computer, put a line down on it, and then when you're happy you'll go back and you'll say, well, I know I can see a curvature, and then you take that photograph, put it on your computer, put a line on it. Well, no, because when I go out to sea, and I sail, and when I go out to sea, and then I look, and because that I can see 360 degrees out in every direction, I agree, I see a curve, but I know the way a circle works when I look out to sea.
It's such a small angle.
It's a small angle. You perceive that it's a small angle, but the further that you look out, you actually are seeing about 100 miles wide. Okay, that is not a small angle. Perspective, things get smaller. Like them people down there, they're only like a half a centimetre. You know, like things get smaller. So you know, like where you might think here that you see 1 mile here, but as you get out, as you're looking out further and further to sea, you are actually seeing about 100 miles across. You know, they're not as small as what you think. And yes, you should see a massive curvature, massive. I mean, I talk about there's a.
There should only be a slight curve.
A
By
sh-
any theory,
Okay.
there should only be a slight curve.
Well,
You're not expecting
Okay.
something like this when you look out to the horizon. You're expecting something like this.
Okay.
And that's what you see.
Okay, so if you look on the Blackpool Gazette's website, I say normally get a leaflet out, but it is on that FE Start. There's photographs there from it was in the Blackpool Gazette, and he's looking out to the Isle of Man from Blackpool. It's, you know, on the promenade, looking out to the Isle of Man, and he's got photographs of the whole of the Isle of Man. Okay, mountains and all the windmills before it and that, and you can see everything. But with spherical trigonometry by Pythagorean's theorem, okay, once you work out what that is, the curvature drop is meant to be 8 inches per squared mile. I mean, it's based on 24,900 miles circumference of the Earth. 8 inches per square drop is meant to also go down. So based on 65 miles from Blackpool all the way to the Isle of Man, you're meant to see a 2,500, it's 2,600 feet drop. So 2,600 feet should be hidden. But the highest mountain is Snaefell, and it's only 2,000 feet. So it should be below the curvature, and yet you can see it in its entirety on a good clear day. But it should be below even Calais on a good clear day. You can see Dover, the White Cliffs of Dover on a good clear day. But that's meant to be 300 feet hidden below the curvature. But you can still see the White Cliffs of Dover. You're not meant to see it. 300 feet should be hidden, but you can see it all. But we don't ask these questions because it's a given. Obviously, we're on a ball.
Assuming you have a reason for why you think, even though it would happen next to the Earth, you have a reason why you think that.
Well, yeah. Go find out who he is. Robert Simmons. People like him are data visual visualizers, and he takes aerographical, high altitude photographic photographs of Earth, just high altitude ones, and then what they do is they stitch them all together. They're called composites, and then they put them on a blank 3D layer, and then he adds layering of clouds and things, and then there'll be teams like him. He works for NASA, and you have never seen a photograph of Earth ever in your entire lives, and we have never been back to the moon in 50 years because we lost the technology, and they've lost 30,000 reels of data is gone. And you can see NASA Don Petit, who speaks out and he says we can't go back to the moon because we don't have the technology anymore. Okay.
So that's not the funding. Oh, okay.
By the way, they get £53 million per day. It won't be the month funding.
I don't think you realise how much money you would need to...
I don't think you realise how much £53 million a day is.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Look, it's nice talking. It's nice talking to you all. Thank you.
Very informative.
Oh, let's have a look at this. God, bloody hell, that was oh yeah, well. Oh, am I still live, guys? Please, someone give us an okay, a yes, please. Otherwise, I'm holding me. Oh, right, guys. We've been here for a couple of hours. Thank you very much, Roxanne. Thank you, Robin. Oh, the wind keeps taking my banner down. I've got such a short amount of battery power left. My battery charger didn't charge up enough, unless Harry's got a spare battery charger. Well, yeah. So we've lost the troglodyte. He seems to have disappeared. Oh, Dave is 10 miles away. Right, so. Oh yeah.
Terry Pratchett meter.
Say that again.
Terry Pratchett meter.
It certainly isn't. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll still be here for Dave. You know, like it's still early. Oh. Well, that's a shame that we had to put all that away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see our triggered gentleman's now left. You know. I don't suppose you got a spare battery, have you? You have? Can I nick a bit of charge off you, please? Because, oh, look at that. I'm going to have some charge. I charged it up this morning, but when I got to, sorry, last night, and then when I got to it this morning, I figured out, oh, look at this. Look at this, guys. You know, I've now got power. So it won't be... yeah, well, I thought I was charging it all last night, and I wasn't. Put that in there. Thank you very much for that. And I won't re-interview because Harry's he's just interviewed then, I noticed. So, but for any of the guys here, your name was?
Sean Wilkins.
Sean Wilkins. Well done, Sean. And you come from where?
Swindon.
Swindon? Swindon. And you're going to meet us again in Swindon, aren't you?
I'm going to Swindon tomorrow, not to beat Bristol and Bath.
Oh, brilliant! And he's been instrumental of helping us kind of set up everything today, and keep the angry man away from us a bit. Yeah, and he's just given me some power as well, which is great. So Steve just gave me a new battery. And Dave's about 10 miles away, I've just been told. So we'll hang on for Dave, and then Dave will want another hour here. So yeah. Oh, so the wind's changed direction, and now I have a new sail. I've actually had some great conversations. I've had some very respectful, challenging. Guy here is quite hot on his physics and that, and yeah, very respectful. That's all I could ever ask. Yeah.
I've struggled today.
Have you? Right, no. I've enjoyed it today. Been really good. yeah. That's right. And I've even had a conversation with a teacher as well, a geography teacher. She said she was fed up of her kids' teacher. We're talking about flat Earth. Yeah, definitely.
So that's just going to get stronger and stronger for teachers.
Yes, and they've got to rise up to it, and they've got to answer them. You know, like if they're asking questions, answer it. So we're not allowed to hand out leaflets no more. The council are kind of shut us down on leaflets, and they don't want the banners on the floor and that. And how dare they? They've got no rights. There's no signs. There's no. But they'll have a policy somewhere on a website somewhere, a policy that we should all jump up and do as we're told. But they haven't come back. We've done what they're saying just so that we could stay longer without being messed around with an £80 fine, which I wasn't going to give my name anyway, so see if I can loosen this a bit. Right. There you go, just sorting out the banner. Okay. Yeah, I said that to the officials that come around that, oh, just leave the leaflets on the floor and they can help themselves, and you know, her attitude is, oh yeah, there's still an £80 fine. She's not happy with that. Because obviously there has to be some sort of amendment to their policy, which they probably don't even have a policy for this anyway. They just want people to jump. But so I'm jumping. Not happy. All right there, buddy. Any more questions?
So I think.
Go on, go on. I'm not. I haven't got you on camera, but they can all hear you.
It's fine. I've got YouTube and everything. So.
Yeah, but Mum and Dad might not like it. I'll let people listen to you. So obviously you've come across this before, have you? Yeah? Okay.
There's a big campaign about it on Instagram as well.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's right. Oh. So yeah, been a good start for the good day so far. One very, very triggered gentleman. But it's kind of quieting down now because all the banners have been put away.
So you said earlier that you don't know if some of their mathematics are right.
Okay.
Have you done the math yourself, and can you right?
On the maths?
Yeah.
On the maths side, I will have to say that no, I haven't, because we're talking about an awful lot of mathematics, aren't we? You know, like, I'm not denying all the maths is right or wrong. Yeah, I see. I mean, like, but there's a thing called spherical trigonometry, okay, which is that 8 inches per squared mile. Okay, so if that happens to be right, okay, if it's right, then that suggests that we can see land larger distances away, which we shouldn't. It should be over that curvature of the ball.
And then you read about the mass and how you understand that. So is the mass greater in the centre of the Earth than us in ourselves? That's what's
pulling us down. Although we're meant to be both attracted to each other, okay, but that can't be proved. You know, like, so if you challenge your teachers and ask your teachers to prove that.
When you wake up, you're 3 centimetres taller than when you are at the end of the day, because it's been pulling down.
I've never heard that. That's
Is it
who told you that? That's an interesting one. I mean, I'm 47 years old and no one's ever mentioned this. So you're suggesting that I should be 3 centimetres taller?
Yeah, you're 3 centimetres taller when you wake up, which is around the stretch of gravity pulling down.
I'm going to have to look into this one. You've just taught me something. I will look into that. That's very fascinating.
If the mass is wrong,
Okay.
then what is keeping us down? If
Can it just be density and buoyancy, that you happen to be heavier than the air around you?
if your theory is wrong and the government's wrong,
Okay.
there's no way to explain it. So how
Well,
you and the government know they're right?
Okay. Well, that's what we're suggesting. We are suggesting that we are being lied to by education, by the government, NASA.
Many times by the government.
Yeah. Keep looking into it and research. Did you get a leaflet before? No. In that yellow bag over there, there's a leaflet. Go and grab one. There you go, buddy. There's a website in that, and you'll be able to watch a load of videos and things. And then, yeah, you know the word debunk? You know the word debunk?
Not really.
No, it means kind of like, oh God, I don't know how to explain it. It just shows you I'm not really a good teacher. To rip all this apart and destroy it. I'm sorry, I don't know a better word to describe that.
I like looking into things.
Good. And you're open-minded to looking things.
Although like a theory, I'm not really, I don't figure out.
Yeah. Okay, well there you go, look into it. Yeah, it's my YouTube channel is Jason of the Disbury Family, and it's on that website that's inside there.
Okay.
Go to FE Start and then look out for that. Cheers, chaps. Yeah. Go ahead. Well, you'll be able to comment on today. When you go to YouTube, look out for Jason of the Disbury Family, which is a link on that website, FE Start, and then you'll see the video there will be live at Oxford. Sorry, we're not. Yeah, we are Oxford. I have to think where I am. Cheers, chaps. Ooh. Oh, the rain's coming out again. Harry's gone all the way over there. Harry's let's go over in the dry. It's getting a bit wet here. I was wondering where you'd gone. Yeah. Let me see about. I'm just going to try and dry me. My phone got a bit wet there, so I don't know if you know. It's got a bit noisy in here, but it's. Isn't it a cold day today? Isn't it? Absolutely freezing today. But we're waiting for Dave to come and put on his Shakespearean performance for Cambridge. Oxford. Or Cambridge on my mind. Oxford. He will wake them up. Yeah. But I'll have to get over there because I kind of think that they'll get pen out on paint or whatever. It's a shame we can't hand out leaflets here today. Oh, we've already had your geography teacher. Huh? Did you say, what's her name? The geography teacher?
Stephen Marsh.
Yes.
Oh no, we had a lady here before, and she was a geography teacher. We were talking to her, and she was quite nice. She was.
Hang on, Stephen.
He's not nice.
Stephen.
No. He might have just heard that. You know, I'm live, so he may have just heard that.
Everywhere.
I knew it. Solar eclipses can't be real.
Are you doing a live stream?
That's okay. He can't come forward. He can only go back.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Are you live streaming?
I'm live streaming. I am.
Fair enough. What are you live streaming on?
Well, just on YouTube. That's all.
Oh, fair enough.
There's only on my channel. There's about 50 people. On Harry's channel. Harry's over there. There's a couple of hundred people on his channel at the moment.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Kids would have pushed everything off the edge.
What edge? Do you realise that you've been programmed to say that? No, seriously, because no flat earther has ever claimed that, ever. So what I'm saying is that is a programmed response that I had, that there has to be an edge. But if space is infinite and ever expanding, that some theorise, if space is infinite, why can't land be?
Wouldn't we discover it if it was?
Antarctic Treaty is in place. You are not allowed to go to the South Pole, Antarctica. people claim to go there, okay? But if you go on festart.co.uk, if you can remember that, FEStart, okay? There's a video there saying something about Antarctica. I forget the title. You know, that you need to watch that, and it will show you how hard it is for you to go there. And it's signed by 53 countries for the Antarctic Treaty, which will stop me and you to go there to explore the possibility of further lands.
Is it like if the Earth is flat? So does that mean the Antarctic is all around?
All around us.
Ah, I see.
All around us, because south is all around us, and when we travel through, when we go through the continents and all that, all we do is circumference in the continents east to west. But if you know, and our heading changes east to west, you know, as you go, and a new head and new head and new head, and you know. So, have you heard of all this before? You've heard of all this before?
Yeah.
No.
I'm interested to hear about this, you know.
Excellent.
I just got one more question. It's like, so if Earth is flat, what do you think about planes flying in one direction and up?
Well, that's one of the main reasons why I probably am a flat earther, because planes have circumnavigated east to west. They've gone round, okay? The Earth is 24,900 miles, but of all explorers in the world, okay, and all the expeditions that have happened in the world, there has never been anyone that has done that journey. 24,900 miles north to south. That journey doesn't exist. And I find that so odd. I mean, like, someone somewhere, an explorer, an expedition, I mean, like, wants to be the first at something.
There is no east to west travel. It's in a circle.
Yeah, well, it's like this. Because what happens is, if north is always there, okay, so, and I want to go also east to west, I mean, like, a new heading, a new bearing, you get that. Excellent. It took me a while to get my head around that. So you got that bump.
Do you thought Earthers believe in climate change? Does it depend?
Well, most of science is having a problem with that. You know, like as Harry put it, which I've never checked this information out. Al Gore said that there was 3,000 people that were signed a petition against it. Was it against Al Gore or something, or for Al Gore regarding climate change? So there are scientists out there that disagree with climate change, because we had climate change before man came around, you know, the Ice Age and things like that, and that's what they say. So yeah, so are we an influence to it? Maybe, might not, I don't know. I mean, like, the very possibility that we're breeding all these animals and all the methane that's all coming off these animals and that, you know, like, to eat lots of meat, and this is a new thing, you know, like, I mean, people think all of this gases and all that come from the vehicles and from our, you know, man-made pollutants. No, it's all the animals that are creating all of this. You know, we've overpopulated the earth with animals for us to consume. I'm actually vegan, but I didn't want to bring that in. Sorry. Cheers. All right, there you go.
How far do you think the Earth goes down?
I've never been there, don't know. But the deepest hole that's ever been dug is 7.5 miles. So I don't know.
We can go into that bit yourself.
Oh. So a few polite discussions. Without my leaflets, this is I've got to hope that they're going to remember FEStart. How annoying, and them council workers haven't even come back. How annoying even more. We're still getting crowds, and the little crowds. I mean, compared to, I mean, see how busy this place is. I mean, like, so you got all of them people down there, and all of that crowd down there. It's such a busy place, and we get a little tiny crowd. They seem to be quite busy shopping here. Not like it was in Cambridge. There he is! There he is! Hey!
Hey, buddy.
All right, we've been waiting for you.
Sorry, man, the traffic was insane today.
Yeah,
Insane on the
Right, and we almost all got beat up before.
Really?
Oh yes, yes, we got confronted and our lives were threatened. You would have broke out in song if you were here at that point.
Well, I'm sorry that I'm late.
Okay.
Before you say that, now, are you guys thinking about moving to a different location, or you good here?
No, I think yeah. We almost got chased away by the council who wanted us to wrap up all the banners and that and the leaflets, so we've just kept the main one out, and like they said, they're going to come back with an £80 fine and that, and so we just yeah. There you go. So Dave Mannell, the brilliant Dave Mannell is here. Look at that, straight into action. Boom. I'm talked out for a bit, so we'll let Dave have a little bit and I'll film.
You can't describe the ball Earth as round, really. Yeah, that's like a circle. Yeah, that's like a pizza. Yeah.
What happens if you fall off the edge of the world?
You probably die.
Well done.
That's what I think would happen. But you know what? We're not allowed to go out here to the edge. Heard of the Antarctic Treaty, lads? Signed in 1952 by the Russians, the Americans, the French, the British, the Australians, you name it. They've signed this stuff up, and yet they've been at war with each other for all these years. Why? Why have they got a treaty they never broke to go down the Antarctica and explore, allow rich people, if they want to go around the other side? No one's ever gone down to the ball. No one. If it was there, I wouldn't say it, but you can Google this. Who has ever been all the way under the globe Earth? No one ever. They go, they skirt the side. While you're at it, look for satellites in space. You won't find a single satellite in space.
What is a circle? In 3 dimensions, what is a circle?
We don't do maths in 3 dimensions. We only do maths and trigonometry on a paper. A sheet of paper, which is a 2D.
It's not reality 3-dimensional.
Our reality is 3-dimensional, but if it was a 3-dimensional sphere, sir, it would require for you to actually walk underneath the sphere. That's impossible with the science that I learned at school.
Why is it impossible?
Well, can you show me one example of that working?
Well, if you have a big enough sphere, gravity holds you as you go around.
So that's the part where I have to believe that if it was big enough, because I can't prove that.
You can go to Australia, which is like it's
well, no, I mean, in this bottle here, it's quite easy to say where we can sail around South Africa, the Cape of South Africa, and go around to Australia. No, you haven't, you skipped straight past my point. You said you have to live on a ball because
your assumption is flat, and therefore you can walk across it.
Have any of you lads ever visited a miniature town, a model town, like a Disneyland or Legoland? Like they build you a model town on a perfectly level board, but if they want hills and mountains, they build some hills and mountains from one ocean to the other coastline. It's up and back down again to the same sea level. Now, if I was to build you, a model Earth, I would get me an Olympic-sized swimming pool, some massive boulders, 5, 6 massive boulders, drop them in the middle, put a huge magnet in the middle and say, hey, sail around that all day long. But I'll ask any of you to bring me a model of an Earth where you can make water cling to the underside of that ball, hang to the... Wait, I'm talking. This is my space. I'm telling you now that it's impossible to get water to cling to the underside of the ball unless you freeze that ball, or unless you want to count surface tension and say, oh, my ball's just a little bit damp. I'm saying take a towel and that water's going to dry away from your ball and your ball will remain perfectly dry. The only way you can store water is to contain it. And once you contain it, it'll find its own level. And guess what, guys? That level will be horizontal wherever you go in the world. Your cup of water will stay horizontal with the ocean. Try it with a bottle of water down at the beach. The water will always stay at sea level. Have you heard the phrase water level? Have you heard the phrase sea level? You haven't heard the phrase ocean level, but I'm telling you now that our oceans are level. My model of a world built in a large swimming pool makes a lot more sense than your model of that gets big enough and big enough, which is like the virgin birth. If you believe in the virgin birth, you can believe in gravity too, because they are not provable, and in the real world of science, observable physics, water is level and virgins do not have children.
Very good.
Not my model, sir. I am not contending that this is the correct model. I'm telling you that your ball model is flawed so badly that when you were 6, 7 years old, your teacher could swing a bucket around and say, this is the example of gravity. And I'm saying to you now that that rocket and that bucket are not gravity. You cannot lift up an apple, drop it down, and say that is going to create a ball. If I let that apple get big enough, eventually water will be attracted to it, and humans can walk underneath of it. Impossible.
But your argument is good, because you're arguing
that water is level.
It doesn't work. You said if I had glue and I put water, it wouldn't hold on to it, and it's correct, because a small sphere won't hold enough gravity.
Because the Earth's gravity is stronger than
All right. Listen to me. You've got a swimming pool. Let me make this point. I'm talking now. No, you're not in charge here. Let me make this point. I'm telling you now that your cup of water at the surface level, your swimming pool and your lake and your dam is a level body of water. Now, the Suez Canal is 160 kilometers long, provably level from end to end. I ask you, if I put 10 of them back to back, I could get to America from here on a perfectly level body of water. Now, if you still think after me telling you this, that rocks can float in sky because they get so big, that's nonsense. If you still think that ships can go down over a body of water, a curving body of water, and find their way eventually back up again, you are still brainwashed by your educational indoctrination system provided to you free of charge by your government, who would rather have you kept down. They would rather have your mind kept small by your Netflix, by your sports, by your cookery shows, by your pornography. They would rather you look at that and look at these scientists like Hawking and Dawkins and all these other fools. Let me tell you, they are deceivers of the highest order. You and all of you are the uncapped pyramid. You are the top of the pyramid. You human beings are here to have a divine experience of your own creation. And I am here as a fellow friend, human being with love, giving you this information that your science is deeply flawed. You know that water cannot curve. You know that water cannot curve and conform to the outside of a shape. And let me tell you, the peer-reviewed science, that proves that Earth is not spinning, that science has been hidden from you. That science has been misrepresented as showing something called the ether. Let me ask you to look back into the ether, friends, because we live within a matrix. The ether is the thing that we exist in. Earth is provably not moving. It's the sun and the stars that are local, that are small, that are moving over our heads. Ancient cultures know this. They used the astrolabe 2,000 years ago, commonly known as a computer, to determine how the celestial bodies would work year to year, century to century. And they worked that out on a flat Earth. So there's nothing that makes sense about a ball unless your programming is given to you by NASA and Disneyland. They're all of the same stable. They're all making it up. They're all making it up to create a lie in your mind, to keep you small, to ensure that you will pay your taxes, to ensure that you will go to school and be a good boy and be a good Darwinian, dog-eat-dog capitalist. Go and get hungry, go and get rich at the expense of your fellow brothers and sisters, but more importantly, at the expense of your own divine light. Because you come here as an expression of the Creator. I'm not selling you a religion, my friends. Oh no. If you want theology and if you want theory like gravity and relativity, I'm not your man. I'm telling you to listen to yourself once more. Trust the senses that were robbed from you at the age of 5 and 6 when your teacher told you that your ass was spinning at 800 miles an hour. Let me tell you, my friends, trust yourself. You are not spinning at 800 miles an hour. If you were, you would know it. If you were, the atmosphere would show it. I have nothing further to tell you other than you are loved by your Creator. Perhaps it's true that when you look into the mirror tonight, you are looking at the Creator, Himself, herself. And I'm asking you to remember this. Remember that you are the most important thing, and your government and your education system and your religious doctrines like scientism are all here to keep you from ever knowing that I was an atheist, full-fat atheist, just 4 years ago. No belief in God. My dying mother would not get me to accept God. But it turns out that most everything you see on the BBC and the documentary channels is bullshit. They are lying to you about everything that you are and everything that this creation is. It is an electromagnetic universe. The forces that they say of attraction between bodies, that's an electromagnetic universe that we're living in. This is the center of that universe. You are on the top of that pyramid, and you should be allowed to shine your light bright. Don't be a slave in this system. Allow your divine feminine and your divine masculine to reach their full potential. You do not have to be a subjugated woman. You do not have to be an over-masculinized male stroke female in the boardroom. You can go back to nature, your own true nature. Take your shoes off sometimes. Spend some time sun gazing. Go back to more raw and natural ways of life rather than the McDonald's and the constant glare of a TV that's programming your soft brain.
Bodyguard was great.
I'm asking you, please, just to go home, turn off the Netflix for a few hours, turn on the YouTube and go and look at some of these things. Like there are 2,000 proofs that Earth is not a spinning ball. But here's a good one by a guy called Eric Dubay. Go also and look at the documentary that says a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. Bart Sabrell. Go and check out the guys who went to the moon. They come back off that. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, they come back and they look like guilty men. Guilty men, shifty and shaky and poor answers. Look at my passion and then go and look at those men who apparently just landed on a rock. Rocks do not float in the sky.
Wait, so the moon's fake?
And if you say the moon is a light, my son,
but in the Bible it says God put the moon
it is not a rock. And if you think that these men went, I ask you to go and see the documentary. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon. Watch this stuff and start to review the world that you live in and start to review the human that you might possibly be, because you are not descended of monkeys. You are not descended of monkeys. You are the pinnacle of humanity, but you have been dumbed down such that we as a general populace have never been stupider. We have never been more dependent on a nanny state to take care of our every need. Educate my child, tell them what to think. Tell the chemists what to give, what drugs to give me. Why don't you tell the teachers what to teach me and then tell the marketers to how much I need to buy someone's clothing that has someone else's name on it. You wearing clothes with someone else's name on it? You're working for that company, did you know that? You're going to pay over the odds to wear the Under Armour kit, the Champion, the Adidas, the Nike, the Hollister, the Northridge. I can stand here and name all of these companies off. And people are paying over the odds on salaries they've had to pay deep taxes on. The taxes are your life energy stolen from you by a government who is in bed with the banking cartel. They are robbing you blind of your life force and the truth about your own divinity. Because if you realize that you are more important than the government, you are more important than the corrupt banking system, you wouldn't put up with it no more. So that's why we're here, my friends and I. We're sharing the news that the Earth cannot be a spinning ball, and once you know that, you will maybe start to revisit a lot of the programming that had a boy like me go to war when I was 19 years old in a country called Angola. Because I thought the communists were coming down my country to kill me all. Now, I'm so anti the system, my newborn child, he's 18 months old, does not have a birth certificate. He has a passport, but no birth certificate. No government is going to take control. That capital letter version of you, when you get that letter from the bank, that's a legal fiction. It comes from your birth certificate, and it's designed to keep you a slave and make sure you follow the rules and acts, the acts of Parliament. These are comedies. They get men in wigs to make acts that you have to be subjected by. I'm asking you, my friends, stop paying attention to these acts. You give away your divinity, you give away your sovereignty when you vote. You give away your sovereignty when you say to the police officer, yes, I understand do not stand under their authority. There is no authority above the human. We men and women created the government, and now the government owns us. The government goes to war for us. The government sells arms to other countries. The government allows the toxic poisoning of your children. It allows the covering up of the truth that cannabis cures cancer. Cannabis cures cancer, and your government has always known that. Your government is the biggest grower of medical cannabis in the world. Matter of fact, World Health Organization tells you 95 tons of cannabis is grown by this government every year, and yet it will put you in prison if you grow your own medicine. Because they want you to go to the pharmacist. The pharmacist will keep you sick. He'll keep you on their pills for years and years and years. And eventually you will die, having given away everything you earned back to the state and the state's cronies.
Yeah.
My friends, that's all I have for you now. Have a super day. Go home. Research the flat earth.
Yes.
Hey, well done, Dave.
Yeah.
Right on, right on. Well done. Well done, Dave. There you go. I hope you learned something from that. Something. No.
I like the points
No.
of cannabis.
Well done, Dave. That was fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed that. What a great. Was that great?
There's a young man who's already starting to see the truth.
Well
What's your
done.
name now? Luca. My older son is Luca.
Did everyone enjoy that?
You're on the money, my friend.
That brought some crowds. Yeah. A little bit awkward now. We've got no leaflets to hand out, so quite a lot of my points that are always made are within my leaflets. Oh, so you know what? I can hold my own leaflet out, can't I? God, didn't even think about that. Didn't even think about that. I will hold my leaflet out. I thought I could still have a leaflet in my hand. So. Oh, it's really nice to have you back. Very good.
Coming out.
Yeah.
If I can help.
Well, you came at the right moment. I mean, like, yeah, but I can hold one. You know, I can hold one. I don't have to dish it out. You know. All right, that was brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, normally I'd start my conversation off by giving people a leaflet.
That's the entry, isn't
That's it. That's the entry. Yeah, I'm not allowed to give them out. But in that yellow bag there, you can nick one if you want. In that yellow bag, it's just round there. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'm just going to do that. There you go. There's a leaflet in there. Yeah.
That's not a spinning ball.
If you're interested in some leaflets in that bag there, but the counter won't let us give them out.
Yeah, take the red pills. Satellites are fake.
Yep. Try and find a satellite in space.
Give you £10 for a real rocket in space. It doesn't look like a cartoon.
That doesn't look like CGI cartoons, that's right.
Yeah, shows the curve and we'll all go home now.
Yeah. Some leaflets in that bag there, but we're not allowed to give them out, so if you want one. Well, it's not Aries failure. Aries failure, if you look at some scientific peer-reviewed experiments, Aries failure says that we're not spilling.
So we're not spinning?
We're not spilling at 1,000 miles per hour.
I thought we'll be all dizzy, won't we?
No, well, there you go. Faster than speed and bullet. You're meant to be, what's it, spinning right now faster than speed and bullet.
It's got to be. Even when they come out, they put the Earth is not spinning that far.
And we're meant to be travelling at 67,000 miles an hour around the sun and coming back. And the sun is dragging us off in a different direction at 500,000 miles per hour.
It's all we've been lied to.
Well, we have been lied to.
I'm not accepting that.
Complete programming and indoctrination.
How would they benefit by indoctrinating?
I don't know, you're going to have to ask them. You would have to ask a liar to do that, someone who's deceiving you. Well, it could be the government, it could be elites, Freemasons, Jesuits, yeah. Someone needs to be held accountable one day, and maybe they will be.
I'm sorry I didn't actually get you on my live stream.
All the best, yeah?
Thank you. Oh. My hand is ice cold. I can barely hold my phone anymore.
With the tar of the dog, it is absolutely shivering.
Yeah, it's
shivering.
yeah. I'm so cold myself. I would have to get a big jumper for Tara. Yeah, and there's still girls who aren't properly dressed. Unbelievable. It's so cold here. Oh, this dog hasn't got a problem.
Where do I know you from? Oh, okay. One of my favourite places. I've only been there one day.
And that guy's gone now, is he? I like that. Well done, Dave. Dave called them out, and yeah, listen or stop wasting my time, he says. Yeah, well done, Dave. Yeah. Yeah, it's become mute now, not to give leaflets out, isn't it? It's like it has. Yeah. There's a leaflet in that bag if you want one. You okay? Yeah, I suppose so. And I think what you need to do, you know what, you can hand loads of leaflets out, and if they come and challenge you, just walk away. Member of the public, don't know who you are, walk away. I don't know you. So all you've got to do is walk away and then come back and visit when you think they've gone. There you go. Because they've got to pin you down and jump on you, handcuff you, and then give you an £80 fine. But look, I've suggest that, so I'll split the fine with you if you do get done, okay? We'll have to. We'll do a GoFundMe for a fine.
Any questions? Hiya.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh.
And the water would lie flat level, wouldn't it? Just like flat.
Come across this before?
I don't believe in it.
Oh,
It makes no sense.
you could never believe it in 5 minutes.
If I'm gonna take a bowl of water,
Say it again.
like we all know that like ice is melting and water is rising, right?
Do we know that? How can we verify that?
We're measuring.
I mean, I've been told that, but I don't know how to verify that.
Simple, you can even see it.
You can see it?
The shore is water is rising.
Well, I go to my beach and I kind of the tide keeps coming in, keeps going out. Tide rises, different types of, and different heights of the day.
Anyway, land.
But how could... Okay, like sea erosion and things, yeah? Maybe. I don't know how to verify that, so maybe you're right, I don't know.
And for example, if I'm gonna...
Sorry, I've caught you a few times. Are you okay to... Yeah. Okay.
So, for example, right, I have a bowl of water. I'm gonna put a food in it, right? The extra water.
Oh, yes,
like I
yes.
put it, it's gonna scrap.
Okay. I mean, that
The
makes
water level gonna keep the same.
that makes perfect sense, and maybe that is a thing. Maybe that is happening. And but can it happen on a flat Earth as well? That can it happen on a flat Earth? That
I mean, if you're gonna have a bottle, it's floating, right? So it's still gonna put something.
Yeah.
It's gonna split, not gonna rise.
Why
Yeah.
did it show you CGI?
Okay.
It's rising.
Why couldn't
I,
you put cameras
I agree. It sounds plausible. I can't verify, but I.
Like I can certify it's not playable.
Okay, but it could be. You could be right there. But
It makes sense.
yes, it does make sense. But I feel like that can happen on a flat Earth or a sphere. In fact, no, it can't happen on a sphere, because I would have to agree that that gravity is pulling everything, all the seas, everything to the centre of the Earth, and it allows butterflies to fly and hot, helium balloons to rise, and gravity is selective. It doesn't mind whether they go. So I have a problem with water clinging to a ball. You know, it doesn't make sense to me, does it? Water clinging to a ball. So you've done any research on this, or?
I did it.
It's a difficult one. Try that one. That's Eric DeBay's 200 proofs. That's not spin a ball. Have a look on that. That's on YouTube. Well, we've been giving these out, and I'm not allowed to give them today, but there is a bag of leaflets over there. There's a website. I don't know if you can remember this website. My hand is so cold. festart.co.uk. FeStart. If you can remember that website, there's some great videos on there to start with.
Then who holds the earth then? Who holds the earth? It should be floating.
Oh yeah, but that's if you kind of like, if you have in your mindset of like a programmed image, you know, from the government and media and education and that, you know, like that this disc should be floating, all that. I've never met a flat earther that actually believes in that. I've never met one.
So the solar system is floating.
Not necessarily. I mean, like, look, can we not just be a flat plane, and we are the most important, that we're not a planet, that we're the most important beings that we see? I mean, can they not just be luminaries in the sky? I mean, these stars are meant to be like trillions and trillions of miles away, and yet we can get cameras and that, and we can zoom in and we can focus on these stars, you know, like quite clearly. And like what we're told, they're so far away. I mean, can they not just be lights in the sky that we don't understand yet? Could be. Space is meant to be infinite and ever expanding, carries on. You know, like, but I mean, that's just a theory. Some scientists disagree with that. Some scientists say that's correct. But could land be like that? Could land be infinite and ever expanding? It can't, because
there must be a limit.
So there must be a limit for space.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
Like,
why not? Come on, yeah.
if you're taking that bubble theory, right?
The which?
The bubble which expanding at
Yes,
some
yes.
point.
Okay,
stops
yes.
And goes back.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, again, but you just said theory. I mean, like, so just one man's point of view, and another guy goes, "Oh yeah, I kind of agree with that point of view." You know, like, and half of science disagrees with that. You know, like, so I expect you are the other half of science that disagrees with my infinite land theory. Do you see what I'm saying? So I mean, I could have a legitimate theory, a legitimate reason for that.
But how you explain, like, if it's not round and flat,
Okay.
it can go either way, right?
Yeah.
So you're still gonna end up in London by flying. You're not gonna fly around.
Right. So look, I've just gone right round you. Did I go east or west then? So I went east or west, right round you. You don't look like a ball to me. I circumnavigated right round you, and you're not a ball.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you are like flying in 11 kilometers up there,
Okay.
you can even
See the curvature. Well, that was the thing that I thought. Now, all the images that I've seen, video that I've seen from like space and that, okay, and as they go up, you know, go up and all that, we see these big curvature. I don't know. In this leaflet here, you see the Felix Baumgar jump, okay, and like, see that curvature there?
Yeah.
Well, that means that the whole of Mexico is Earth. That's how big that sphere is. I mean, like that. Sorry, that curvature. So, like, sorry, half of Earth is Mexico, which is not right. So they use NASA and all that use fisheye lenses. You know, and you see the lens concave and come back. You know, like, but when we see it send amateur balloons up and that, that's what you get. We see flat horizons when we send amateur footage up there that are not using.
Going round, right? You're not gonna see the end of it.
Okay.
Oval, not even oval. More like
They say oblate. That's what they say. But I mean, they only say it's 29 miles oblate. You know, that's not a big deal anyway. I mean, like, so it should be just circle. You know, a sphere. You know, like, but it can't be proven because. If you go and challenge yourself, you know, like to look at satellites in space, you know, like you won't find those satellites in space, as in photographs and all that. You'll get CGI images and cartoons. That's what you'll get. How could they survive in space? You know, like when the thermosphere gets up to 2,500 degrees Celsius, aluminium and titanium, they melt at 600 degrees Celsius because you've got radiative heat that belts down on these satellites and it heats up and it heats up, but there's no oxygen to take the heat away. There is another theory to that, but I've got to look into it, which to do with radiative heat, heating these things up and taking the heat away. The same radiative, it makes no sense to me, but they're making some silly claims, but I'll have to look into that a bit further. You know, we've got legitimate arguments, but this is one of my biggest arguments, that we're living on a flat plane, okay? When I look out to sea, I see distant lands sometimes, you know, like, this was in the Blackpool Gazette, okay? So that is 65 miles away. And 2,500 feet should be hidden over the curvature. Okay, how did I know that? Well, I never come across it before. I never even heard of it before. But spherical trigonometry by Pythagoras' theorem. Okay, and it says for every mile there should be an 8-inch drop for every mile. Okay.
But you're not going to see it.
Well, that's the thing. At 65 miles away on Blackpool Promenade, you could see the Isle of Man. 2,500 feet should be hidden. The highest mountain is 2,000 feet, but you can still see it. It's in the Gazette. This is Dover to Calais, 24 miles away, okay? But 300 feet should be hidden, and yet you can still see Dover, White Cliffs of Dover. That is 273 miles away, and yet you can still see land, and 3 miles plus should be hidden. But you can still see it. I could go on all day, and if I had an encyclopedia, I could show you so much land that you shouldn't be able to see. And yet, I didn't know about this land until I learned, until this Pythagoras theorem was explained to me.
Can you explain how I flew around the world then? I left Los Angeles and I flew to Bangkok, to Spain, to New York, and back to Los Angeles.
As I said to him, if he's north, I'm just going right round him. I've just circumnavigated him, and he is not a ball. But I'll ask you.
When you are high in
but
the
I'll
air,
ask you a question.
Fly sideways, my friend. It flew like this.
But I'll ask you a question if you want. So another thing was, like what he was just saying there. This is Walter Lewin. He says that gyroscopes are fixed and rigid in space, and gravity has no effect on them whatsoever. That's him. So that's an artificial horizon. And aeroplanes, what he just said there, if they're flying along, they've got to dip their nose over the ball every once in a while. It's a ball. Okay, so from here to London, it would have to be a change in the angle. It's pitch all the time going around the ball. Okay, but these artificial horizons, based on the gyroscope, the mechanical ones, they ascend. You can see them ascend. They fly level, and from here all the way to Australia, they will fly level all the way, and then they will descend. There's no observable proof that these gyroscopes, you know, like that, ever invert and go upside down. Now the newer ones, okay, work on the MEMS device that is in here. Works off in inertia.
But you must admit that Earth itself also spins.
Spins out, is meant to spin at 1,000 miles per hour. Okay, at the equator, where we are now, is probably about 700-800 miles an hour. Okay, but like, There is scientific experiments that prove that Earth does not spin 1,000 miles an hour, okay? We're traveling at 67,000 miles an hour around the sun. The sun is hurtling us through the galaxy at 500,000 miles an hour. But when we look at the North Star, Polaris, it is fixed in the sky. Fixed. And all the stars revolve around Polaris, the North Sky. And we have never seen, you know what parallax is? We've never seen a crossing over of stars, you know, distant stars in front of and behind the other. You know, since astronomy ever began, like the pyramids of Giza are perfectly aligned with Orion's belt. And don't forget, all them stars are doing their own trajectories.
That's the thing, even the Asians knew that Earth is round.
Well, if you go back in a little bit further and all that, nearly every culture in the world believed that the Earth is flat.
They believe that elephants holding them.
Well, yeah, well, okay, fair enough. That's that's a religion, yeah, a culture, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that picture as well. I'm not sure that what that is trying to suggest, but yeah, I've seen that picture.
So I'm containing.
So,
I think if it would be falling or floating.
But it could be infinite. That's hard to get. That's because your reality can't get round that one, and I find that difficult myself.
Nothing is infinite.
Okay, but like of all the things in the world that we don't know, maybe there's a possibility we just don't know that one. There is an Antarctic treaty, and that you can't go. And if you go to that festart.co.uk, and you'll see there's a video on there, and it will show you and explain to you why you cannot go to Antarctica. Well, it's signed by 53 countries, and you have to get a sign off by 53 countries, and then you have to have a few £1 million, and you're like, and then you might be escorted to the shoreline, and you can watch a couple of penguins and things, but you can never go wandering off by yourself.
The education system that I put my children through, my older children, not my youngest child. But
I'll go with that. Yeah, okay, can't argue with that. It's too cold here. They need it on top. They need a Oxford Treaty signed here. Or are you starting again? Is there a possibility that maybe we may have been misled?
No.
But do you believe that governments tell you the truth all the time?
No.
Well, you're halfway there then. Because government says education and science are just an extension of governments.
What's the point of why that the Earth is flat?
I can only give you a theory, my theory, but like I feel like that whatever I give you will never satisfy your answer on that one. You know, I think we should stick to the facts and try and discover it. Are we being lied to first?
What's the point of lying that the Earth is flat?
There could be the fact that there could be more land. Do you want to take that away? I didn't give it to you. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, there could be the very fact that there could be more land further on, like we said, an infinite land. So that would be a big deal if that be true. Yeah, that'd be a huge deal.
It'd be easier to
all the extra minerals and gold and diamonds and there could be more cultures beyond there that we could be.
Anyway, the gold is losing its value.
Well, yeah. Okay, I mean, like, that's a different subject, but yeah, maybe.
The thing, anyway, look at the China, eh?
Yes.
Because if there would be more like space, wouldn't they fight for more land for themselves? Right? It would be infinite war.
But the thing is, I mean, like, myself, I kind of think that all of these countries are together as one, that we probably that there is no separation in governments, you know, like because there seems to be a central bank in every country in the world.
To fight the wars like in Iraq
for the oil or control, or just, you know, let's get central banks in. The same central bank owned by the Rothschilds, that's in every country in the world.
Why they would kill their own people just for nothing?
So who?
Like government, right?
But they do that though, don't they?
Why would
They do.
that?
Yeah, but I mean, but they have done. It's not why, but they have done in the past. If we only have to look at our past, you know, like, and we've had lots of genocide, you know, like in lots of countries.
It's like that genocide was more political than.
Well, we don't know what sort of chess game they're playing, though, do we? Not really. No.
But why that there is more land, no point, because we already get like every news, like CNN or whatever.
But if there was
population growth is too fast and we don't have space for it.
Well, that's right. So by condensing it, then house prices and land becomes more valuable because it becomes more of a less commodity. But can you imagine that there is more land, and the fact that now, well, you don't need to pay these extortionate prices. You can go off to that warmer climate somewhere else and create your own life and conquer that land yourself. You can be a free man, an individual, a sovereign being.
That's the same thing. Like you say, if you fly or you have that balloon which is literally captured the air, if you left him going, you would see those lands.
Antarctic Treaty, 53 countries signed it. Military presence.
It makes no sense. So just Antarctica, you can go from one side and get in the other side of that.
Well, that was, I don't know if you probably didn't hear me before. Of all explorers in the world, and all that, no one has ever 24,900 miles in circumference of Earth. No one has ever done that exploration to go north and south right the way over. That journey doesn't exist. Lots of people have done it around the equator and gone that way. Lots of people have gone around the.
If your theory is right, if you're gonna go other side, you're not gonna meet Antarctica.
Well, I mean, like. Wouldn't that be an easy thing to do? Just to send a plane over from, I don't know, Peru, Santiago, and go right the way over and come out at Australia, Sydney or somewhere? Can't they do that for us? And have a non-stop journey?
If you want to confirm your theory, you can send that same water balloon opposite way from Antarctica. It's not going to get there, isn't it?
Opposite way from Antarctica?
Yeah. You're gonna send it opposite way.
Right.
You're not gonna break the agreement, isn't it?
I don't know. What I do know, what I do know is that there was was he Norwegian, Sweden, and he took it on himself to go there by himself, and he was arrested and thrown in prison. I mean, like so that there is countries that will prevent you.
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna take that balloon or whatever you're using it, just send opposite way from that Antarctica, right?
Maybe I'd have to look.
It's not gonna end up in Antarctica.
Okay.
It's gonna be floating.
It's going to be floating, but in which direction? Isn't that going to be wind dependent? Wind direction dependent? Just asking questions.
It's possible to make it go in the direction wherever you want.
Right. Okay.
If you have enough money to invest in it.
Did I give you a leaflet? I probably didn't give you. Did I give you a leaflet?
No.
But can you remember FE Start? And you'll go to that and check out a few videos. Have a look. There's one about Antarctica, and you'll find it fascinating. Oh, there you go. He didn't give it you. Shh. Hide it away. Yeah, we're not allowed to. Look, it was nice speaking to you. I'm gonna. Thank you very much. Cheers, buddy. Oh, we're still here. So I want to put one hand in my other pocket. My hand is freezing. It is so cold here. Hello. So let's have a look. So it's been a really good day here so far. Oh, not far left to go. What is it, like 8, 9 more locations or something? It's yeah, Dave's streaming as well. I'm just going to have a little walk about. I've been stood in the same location for about 3 hours now. Right, I'm only walking around just to get a bit warm. Oh, it's been pretty cold here today. Oh, that's quite nice. I've been listening to that in the distance. Right, Dave is challenging. Let's grab another leaflet. God, it's not warm today, is it? You alright?
Hi. Are you a flat earther?
I am a flat earther.
Why are you filming everybody?
I'm filming everybody and you're live, so it's a bit late for that. Well, no, I've turned it away for you.
Do you know, this is utterly insane, don't you?
Your view? Is that why I need to turn it away so that you could?
No, I just don't like being filmed.
Ah, okay.
It's got nothing to do with your beliefs.
It's not a belief. I have a knowing. I used to believe I lived on a globe. That was a belief.
It's
But now
very interesting.
I know where I am. I know that I can see land that should be over the curvature of the Earth, and that the fact that I was blinkered and I didn't know about spherical trigonometry and Pythagorean's theorem, but now I've learnt that, and now I know that I should be seeing land.
Extraordinary. Can I take that?
You most certainly can.
Compelling
Cheers,
evidence
buddy.
that we live on a spinning ball. Give me it, please.
Yes, I need some gloves. I do. We just didn't realise it was going to be so cold today. It started off. It actually started off really miserable. When we got out the camper van, it was really warm. We've arrived here now, and it's such an icy chill.
Right spot.
Yeah. Oh, look at these guys laughing. There you go. Do you?
Compelling evidence that we live on a spinning ball.
Because I mean, we all thought that. All of us thought that.
I mean, see as the moon looks quite spherical, the sun looks
Well,
quite
we're not a planet
spherical.
though. We're not a planet.
I see it in 2D. I see the moon in 2D. I don't see it in spherical.
No, it's just perfect.
I mean, we're challenging the Earth now because at 5 years old.
The shadows and the moon, and then the way it drifts off.
I was speaking to you, chaps. They just want to have a bit of fun. They're not interested. It'd be like talking to children. It will be, you know, like when you get a group of them together. Oh God, Mr. Triggered is back. Oh, here we go. Unbelievable. Mr. Triggered is back.
If it did escalate, I'll say to the police, well, we tried.
Right, now he's doing it to Dave now.
Hang on, still, what's your best proof that it's flat? What's yours?
I will.
It's flat on this picture, yeah. But what's your best proof that it's flat? Why are you questioning? That's the question.
Because at 5 years old, when you were presented a globe, and all the way through your life, did you ever question it? Or did you just accept it by a belief?
I don't believe in disbelief.
Sorry?
I don't believe in disbelief. It is what it is. But I reckon that's easy way forward.
Very good. So, got Mr. Triggered.
I have a record of that fact. I gave it to Prince Harry 3 years ago, and it is a fact that I used to fire long-range weapons 2 miles in the distance, and the only thing we had to allow for was the drop due to the weight of the projectile and windage. If there was windage to account for, we would allow for that, but there is no spin of the earth. I'm telling you that snipers take allowance for the turning. There is an ether on our Earth. There is an ether on our Earth that's been denied by your scientists, but the fact is that the ether was measured by the interferometer experiments done by Michelson and Morley, Michelson in the early 19th, late 19th and early 20th century. And what they measured
And can you read that lot there, all about
was the ether turning at 4 to 5 miles an hour. And this is what they measured.
He's getting upset again. He gets angry. I'd keep away. Yes. Of course you can. Are you okay? No.
I was wondering, what do you think about the other planets? Like, do you believe they're flat, or do you believe they're spheres?
I look at the moon. It looks like a sphere. The moon does. Anything beyond that, I get my telescope out and that, and then I'm looking at in 2D. So I see a circle in the sky. Okay, but us here on our plane, our flat plane, we are not a planet. So then what we see have no bearing on what we're stood on.
So then what do you think Earth is? Because you said it's a plane, but then what does that actually mean?
Okay. It's a very confusing question. What does that mean? We are on a flat plane, as in land can go forever in every direction. I've not tested this for myself because I'm not allowed to go down to Antarctica. There's an Antarctic treaty signed by 53 countries, so I'm not allowed to go.
Is absolutely
So,
water is level. Have you heard of the phrase water level? Have you heard of the phrase sea level, sir? Have you heard that phrase?
well, that was kind of like teachers in schools. That's when you taught at school, and that's what they say. And up until 47 years of age, that's what I believed as well. You know, like boats, kind of like the mass seems to go down. You see the hull go down over there. But we've got really powerful cameras and telescopes now. And if you stand on the shoreline, wait for that boat to go over the horizon. The second that you're comfortable that it's gone, grab out your telescope, point it at that boat, and you'll bring it straight back into image and back into view. And if you don't believe me, just go onto YouTube, and lots of people are doing that same experiment. And if you watch all that, and then boom, they come up. Okay, but eventually that boat will go out to your line of perspective. Just like when I look at people, they become smaller and smaller and smaller. I know they're not that small, but everything on the bottom will rise to my eye level, and everything on the top will rise down to my eye level. That's to do with angular resolution and perspective.
So do you believe that if you can maybe put enough telescope, you'll still be able to see that boat field?
Well, let's say, could I see further away, as in 100 miles, 200 miles, 300 miles?
So, for example, you're talking about looking at the space telescope.
Okay.
If in theory you had one that powerful and it could zoom in that far, do you think you'd be able to see that?
Not a chance, because of atmospheric conditions. Because here right now we are crystal clear, we can see very clearly. But as I look further and further away, with the density and air pollution that we have, it gets more hazier and hazier and hazier. And the further we look away, does it not?
What if it was over the sea, though, we didn't have air pollution? Because air pollution is from the buildings and cars around us, so if it was in the middle of sea.
Have you not looked, say, 15 miles away? You can see sort of crystal clear here. But when in my hometown, when I kind of look at from Brixham on the beach, and I look out at sea, and then I can see 15 miles away, which is a place called Exmouth. I can see it's very hazy, and that's only 15 miles away, and that's over the sea.
The Twin Towers, the American event on 9/11,
when it gets to the land
designed to frighten the populace. H.L. Mencken, the well-known philosopher.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem. Look, see this here? I don't know if you ever come across it. That's called Pythagorean's theorem, spherical trigonometry. It says for every mile there should be an 8-inch per square drop. So it goes 8-inch, 32, 70 something. Okay, so when I'm on that Brixham beach, okay, and I'm on the beach and I look right the way across with me zoom camera, I can see people on the other beach. But that's a problem, because based on that trigonometry, okay, spherical trigonometry, all of that beach is meant to be hidden over the curvature of the Earth by.
Now that I've told it to you, you've got rocks in your head.
For a planet that big, would the curvature really be that steep?
In the sky.
Yeah, well, it's not my maths. It's Pythagorean's theorem, spherical trigonometry. According to that, yeah. And that was the biggest surprise. What I investigated, what I found out. bigger supplies.
It will settle at its
There's plenty more.
lowest point.
Look,
and
there's
remain
some leaflets in the bag. If you grab one leaflet out, there's a website in there, FE Start. We're asking people to watch a few videos and check out FE Start. If you want to grab one, do or don't. But if you don't, remember festart.co.uk. All right. Cheers. Go for it. There we go.
The fact is that perspective ensures you think that ship went over the ball. But if you think that ship went over the ball, tell me what the measurement is, clever guy.
6 inches.
Tell me. Europe is flat. Not enough. Europe is flat. Yes. Do some research for yourself. Your government has lied to you. Your government has lied to your educators. Your professors have been lied to. They were simply the kids that got the A in class, and they went on to teach you, brainwash your children into believing they were nothing but a Darwinian speck. You think that your parents, your great-grandparents were monkeys and apes? Yeah. You think that you emerged from the slime like a slug? You think that? You think you came from monkeys? You think you came from Africa? You think your forefathers were once black? Do you believe that bullshit? You were created perfect. Each of you, in your own colour and in your own creed, you were created perfect. But your government around the world is a franchise, and all of them are in bed together to fuck you over. I'm here to tell you, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you that your government has lied to you at every level. You are divine beings of light, and you deserve every opportunity to have the most fantastic experience. But why do you think that you are a tiny ant living on a space ball that's going to get wiped out like Disney's dinosaurs? Remember, dinosaurs were created by Disney, right? They're not real either, children. Nor is fake, nor is people real. There is a lot of lies you need to go and find out. The Muslims are not your enemy. The Muslims are not your enemy, the Jews are not your enemy. The control system that stands above you, that forces you to pay taxes. That
No, I did it. Get your face out of that camera, scumbag.
There we go.
I think we should sort of round it up back up. So it's just get a bit more volatile for a minute.
Yeah. People who are triggered without investigating. People who are triggered easily.
Yeah.
If we lived on a ball, the horizon would drop down with that ball. Can you measure, genius? Can you measure the curvature?
I think Dave's got a bit of competition as well.
We've now done Oxford. It's getting a bit chilly here now. We've still got crowds here, so we're going to start wrapping up slowly. It's I think that's over 3 hours. I would think of. We've been here about 4 hours, but that's about 3 hours worth of footage.